I'm here with Jeff and Brandon. Hello. Lindsay, of course, joins us from home. Lindsay, how are you today?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going okay. Let's all be honest here and speak openly like adults. So many of us woke up today with a pit in our stomachs, and it was a day like no other in this nation's history. By now, we've all seen video like this of angry mob of extremists storming the nation's capital. Lawmakers crouching down, hiding behind chairs, fearing for their lives. They were escorted, some in their own gas masks, from the House and Senate chamber and brought to secret and secure locations where they waited for hours while the Capitol was cleared by police. Here's how some lawmakers reacted.
At this hour, our democracy is under an unprecedented assault, unlike anything we've seen in modern times. An assault on the citadel of liberty, the Capitol itself.
We must and we will show to the country, and indeed to the world, that we will not be diverted from our duty, that we will respect our responsibility to the Constitution and to the American people.
To those who wreaked havoc in our capital today, you did not win. Violence never wins. Freedom wins. And this is still the people's house.
So today, as the nation picks up the pieces and begins the process of figuring out where we go from here, we're going to do what we always do here at DBL. We're going to talk from the heart. How did this make you feel? Was this allowed to happen? And DBL Nation, we want to hear from you. So please write in. I got so many of you. I've never heard from so many of you last night. Thank you for writing me. It helped me get through this. Please tell us what you are thinking. Lindsay, thoughts?
I mean, I was disgusted watching the TV last night. To me, this is a national embarrassment. There was nothing patriotic about what we saw. And I think it was a display of how far people will go to protect white privilege. And what I mean by that is that you have leaders who passively didn't call the National Guard. The president passively did not call the National Guard on these people that were borderline performing terrorism as a constitutional duty was being performed. And so when I look at conservatives and Republicans that say, hey, listen, we are fighting for what we believe was a rigged election, and that perpetual lie continuously go on, and then see these Trump supporters go down to the Capitol, even KKK members, you know, people who are just completely terrorists, in my opinion, in this country, and go down and sabotage some of our leaders trying to perform their constitutional duties. I look at the way they were treated, and the National Guard was not called until Pence stepped in. And then I look at Kenosha, Wisconsin, when the National Guard was protectively called because leaders thought that black people were going to riot down there, and actually nothing happened. And so it's funny because these same people that say Colin Kaepernick kneeling during a football game is un-American are the same people that will rush down to this Capitol and try to perform one of the most un-American things I've ever seen in my life. I think black people are not surprised, but they are disgusted and still annoyed and infuriated because we constantly are protesting to protect the fact that black people are being killed every day with not any merit and no reason. But white people went down to the Capitol and said, listen, we're protesting because we lost, because we're sore losers. And so I think overall everybody is just standing by in awe of how disgusted this is. And I don't think that it's the entire Republican Party. I don't think that it's everybody that ever voted for Trump. But there's no way that you can detach yourself at this point and say that you thought that message that he sent yesterday was appropriate, that you thought that him continuously pushing the lies that have been disproven in many levels at many high courts, that we are not, that Joe Biden and Kamala are not the next leaders of this country, is appropriate at the 11th hour, this close to Inauguration Day. I think overall we're in a terrible spot. And when you look at it, it puts a glaring light on how racism still exists in our country. I mean, if black people went up to that Capitol and kicked down the doors and sat in Nancy Pelosi's office with their foot on the stool and took things out of there and looted, we would be dead. We would be dead. And so that's just a fact if you just look at the history of this country. And so I watched that last night and I was just like, wow, this is disgusting. And anybody who can't see that really needs a wake-up call and to think about how you want to bring this country towards moving forward, because we have to make some decisions on how we're going to come together and actually act like we're not a third world country.
I first of all, very well said. And the anger I think that you exploded with is something we all feel. I want to make sure we tell our audience we see the Black Lives Matter and this as two radically opposing responses, and we are clear on that. We are going to have a longer discussion on that, and I want to make clear we are not ignoring that, but I want to also move on to also what, let's say, the politicos said, like Trump. We have to have peace, as Lindsay said, so go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. Go home and go home in peace. Just so you know, he has been banned now, our president, from Twitter, from Facebook indefinitely, and from Instagram. I think for Twitter it's been for about 12 days. Jeff, Lindsay feels the anger. What did you feel when you saw this?
I don't want to, Lindsay feels the way she feels, and I don't want to contest that, right? Usually I'm trying to contest that and give a different side to this show and for the audience out there. I don't think there isn't another side. Not that I don't think. There is not another side to this story, right? I'm not going to egg Lindsay on. I don't want to go there right now. I have some things that I want to counter with her, but today's not the day. Today's the day to feel how you feel. Today's the day for Americans, okay? I don't want to get into details. I actually want to hear you speak, Tori, because you have pages of notes. This is not what you live for, because I could imagine how you feel today, because you take Washington, D.C. to your heart. So how are you feeling from your heart today?
It was a very sad day. I'll be super honest with you. My family's 5 miles from the White House. It was disgraceful. And the way I felt about this mob, and I'm not scared, as Lindsay said, they're almost like terrorists, to call them terrorists, that traitors overtook the People's House yesterday. We had a mob of traitorous people take over yesterday. You spit in the face of the Constitution. You spit in the founders' face that created law and order so that these people could give their constitutional duty. You actually spit in the face of troops who are defending that Constitution. Not only that, I want a full investigation into why the Capitol Police let such an enormous security catastrophically fail at this level. I'm not going to bring back what Lindsay said, but I have to admit, Black Lives Matter was ready, and we weren't for this, and we all knew it was going to be a big day. So I have questions for the D.C. Police, for the Capitol Police. I have questions for who let Gates in for selfies being taken. We all saw what we saw. But I would like to say at the end, what happened? This traitorous mob lost, and democracy won. Not only that, they cemented the vote. and objections were canceled. You failed. You failed miserably, and Biden is president, and a transfer of power has happened. So it was a lot of noise. It was too much noise. We need an investigation into why there was so much noise and why they were allowed for hours to be on the Capitol steps. Hours. But at the same time, let's talk about democracy prevailing. Early this morning, Congress certified the election of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Vice President Mike Pence presided over the final moments with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi by his side, and the two bumped elbows when it was all done. After seeing Congress come back after everything that happened yesterday and complete the people's work and do it for the most part together, a lot of people are wondering, can and will the nation unite? Brandon.
We talk about healing all the time. Anytime something happens, we always talk about, oh, the nation needs to heal, the nation needs to heal. And Jeff, we talk about these deep conversations. In something like this, it has to go deeper. We're talking, and Lindsay touched on race, it has to go deeper because these are some of these people are the same people who believe that women shouldn't make just as much as a man. Some of those people who believe that LGBTQ people shouldn't have rights. Some of those people, Jeff, wouldn't allow me and you to be friends. Me, you, and Al talk football on the weekends through our group chats and have fun. We're at a point now where I'm glad that the politics, our democracy still prevailed and our politicians made their speeches. But you know what? It's not going to be on them, Jeff, to heal. It's going to be on me and you. It's going to be on relationships like me and yours, Tori's, Al's and yours, Lindsay's and yours. Because the more we have this conversation, the more we get deeper, the more people are going to really, truly understand each other. And what we all saw yesterday, just like you said, that's hate. That's hate. No one's standing for that. Especially as an American. My grandparents fought. My grandparents fought for this country. Not for that. Sam Shocker's grandfather, our very own Sam Shocker's grandfather, fought for this country, not for that. So when we talk about healing, we're not leaving this one up to the politicians, America. This one has to happen within these Facebook groups, on our social media, and in our everyday lives, because it's going to be put on us.
Well, let me get to the comments here, because a lot of you are writing in. And again, I want to emphasize that you failed. This democracy has worked, and our transfer of power has happened. I can't emphasize that enough, because a lot of you wrote me and said, Tori, talk me off the edge. I feel like we're in a coup, and we were, and we succeeded, and the traitors failed. This is from Pamela on Facebook. It's a terrible act. All the violence in this year has been terrible. Cheryl says, at first I was ashamed to be a United States Air Force veteran, but then I stepped back, and I realized this does not represent my America, just like what you were saying. She says, I took the oath of office to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and what happened yesterday was a disgrace and a slap in the face to that oath. Alexander said the world watched and laughed. That is something else we need to discuss, the global community. You don't think China was watching? You don't think Iran was watching? We look so weak. We look so vulnerable and stupid and silly and arguing with ourselves. That's how sad that was. Lydia says angry, very un-American, and Jay just responds with sickening. We want to thank Cheryl for her service, obviously, as well. Tough day, guys. Very tough day. I'm glad we're talking about it and being honest about how we feel, and I'm glad, again, democracy prevailed. Coming up on DBL, we're continuing the conversation about yesterday's riot at the Capitol with you guys, the viewers. We're sharing more of those comments next in DBL Take, so don't go away.
Breaking down two of the most asked questions online right now. First, can the Vice President invoke the 25th Amendment? According to a Congressional Research Service report, Section 4 of the 25th Amendment allows the Vice President to, quote, assume the powers and duties of the office as acting president. Now, it only requires that the Vice President have approval from the majority of the cabinet, but if the President challenges, then 2/3 of Congress would have to approve. So technically, yes, the Vice President can invoke the 25th Amendment. But it's never happened in U.S. history, and that same Congressional Research Service report indicates that the amendment was, quote, not intended to facilitate the removal of an unpopular or failed president. Second question, Was this the first time the U.S. Capitol was stormed and seized since 1814? A lot of claims out there about this. Now, while congressional records show minor attacks in the last century, none of them involved more than a handful of people. The kind of large-scale breach and takeover of the Capitol we saw Wednesday hasn't happened since 1814, when British troops stormed Washington and burned the Capitol. So this claim is also verified. Now, folks, there are tons of claims and rumors online right now. If you see something you want us to check out, send us an email. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Welcome back to DBL. The FBI is on the hunt for the rioters who were in the nation's capital yesterday, with more arrests expected to happen today. So this has many Americans concerned about the future of our country, leaving many to question how the storming happened in the first place. DBL Nation, we want to hear from you. What's your take on yesterday's riot at the Capitol? I'm going to read your comments, and we're going to push it off to our panel here. Lindsay, the first comment's for you. Michael from Facebook says, I hope that this will be a rock bottom for our country and that we can come together to bring back truth, civility, and honor. What do you think?
I mean, there's been so many rock bottoms throughout 2020 as we've seen the different difficulties that we've all been facing, from COVID to race relations to things that some leaders were doing and saying. And I just really, as much as I understand this could be a wake-up call, I'm like, this is so extreme to be the one wake-up call. But I do hope we go up from here, because going any lower is, I think everybody was already disgusted, so going any lower seems like something that's just not possible for the United States of America.
I agree. Now here's the next comment, Jeff. Pamela from Instagram says, the world is watching. It's a shame and embarrassing.
She's right. Unfortunately, she's right. But listen, I don't want to diminish anyone's anger here, because I understand everyone's angry, but I hate to be that guy to say we have to be optimistic as a country, to know that this terrible thing that happened yesterday strangely has brought us together. I feel like even Republicans in the House are saying, this is, Mr. Trump, this is unacceptable. Lindsey Graham said, enough is enough.
He said, I'm out.
I'm out. Enough is enough. People are putting their foot down. They're not standing for it. We know what's right. We know what's wrong as Americans. Again, this is a small percentage of a country, a small minority that's doing wrong. You're going to have bad in any situation in any part of the world. Us as Americans, the majority of us, know this was wrong, know this was terrible, and we need to be optimistic about where we're headed as a country.
Jeff, always with the positivity. I so needed that today. Brandon, Mel from Facebook says, how is this different from tearing down historical statues? Wrong is wrong.
Mel, Tori. Yesterday, and you can research this online, I'm sure Google has images up, there was a man with a Confederate flag in our nation's capital, in our state capital. Those historical statues that are being torn down are being torn down because it represents that flag. And you see what that flag just did to our democratic republic. So as Jeff, I'm staying positive. I'm ready to have conversations. I'm ready to go get a beer with you and we talk about, hey, what more can we do? Because we have this platform. Tori, same thing. What more can we do? But at the same time, I cannot sit here and try and equate those two.
Fair. I'll take the next comment. Ann from Facebook says, this was an assault on democracy. We should all be concerned that something like this would even be possible. Yeah, it was, to me, it was just bizarre that it lasted so long and that everything was allowed to continue. But again, I'm going to go with my friend Jeff here and end with what happened. Democracy happened. They failed. We won. Heart Threads is next. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. Today's Hearth Threads is all about helping out your neighbors. Watch how an act of kindness spoke volumes when a woman was about to lose her home.
This woman's neighbor helped her pay rent just in time. Things have been tough for Barbara Gillard ever since her husband died. Michael Gillard died unexpectedly 3 years ago from a septic gallbladder.
I just felt lost.
Barbara fell behind rent as she struggled to make ends meet, resorting to food banks to get enough to eat. She finally found a job as a home health aide, but her first paycheck wasn't going to arrive in time. Before she got paid, Barbara's landlord sent an eviction note. So she posted on Nextdoor, asking if anyone knew of services to help. Barbara's neighbor, Mike Cuffield, saw the post and offered to help. He offered to pay her owed rent so she could stay in her home.
My first thought was how brave this woman was to reach out like that.
There are angels in Noblesville, and God put them angels in Noblesville after I reached out to him.
We needed that today. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, Steph showed me some amazing products at even better prices. Here's this week's DBL Deal Blast, presented by MorningSave.com. All right, what do you have for us today, Stephanie?
It is the Viva Spa whole body vibration machine with built-in Bluetooth speaker and resistant bands. So normally this is $300, pretty spenny, but we've got it for our viewers for $129. What a steal. Okay, next, it is the Keels.
I love
Powerful
Keels.
strength, line reducing, eye brightening concentrate. So this eye treatment helps brighten and smooth for younger looking eyes. Love it. Now normally it's $50. Smells amazing. Now it's only $25, saving 50%, Tori.
I used to sell Keels. It's unbelievable. The scent,
Love it.
the smell, it's very sort of natural ingredients. Everyone should buy that.
This is the 2-pack Vega protein and energy coffee powder with a Smart Shake bundle.
Wow.
So this is designed for people or couples that are on the go and want a little bit of extra energy throughout the day. Okay. So normally these are $80, but we've got 2 for $24, which means our viewers are going to save 70%, Tori. So love this.
Nice.
Big fan of this one. Last but definitely not least, Tori, it is the Baggallini crossbody bag.
Ooh.
So it comes in your choice of style. We've got the Denver or the El Paso.
Ooh.
So normally these are $60, but we've got them for our viewers for $20, which is a steal, and because you're saving 67%.
All right, guys, you saw the deals. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even just visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. It can't be easier. Steph, thank you so much. All right, we got a lot of comments coming in, more than we ever have, so I so appreciate you all writing in. Here's an honest one from Michael D. Williams III. It's very hard to be positive right now. I'm normally filled with optimism, and I'm very sorry. I don't have it right now, but I appreciate your encouraging words, and that's a really fair assessment. Christina Adams says, did Trump pardon himself and his family? Can he still? He can still pardon, as long as he's president, he has all the pardoning powers that he constitutionally is allowed to have. And finally says, why would people riot like this knowing they're going to lose and that people will die? I wondered if either of you wanted to speak on that, or Lindsay, why would they do this knowing it wouldn't work? Linz?
I mean, I can't speak to that like lunatic behavior. What I'm more curious about is, you know, I have friends that work in the DC area that were by executives of companies warned to stay home and stay safe, and so that the leaders of our country that were voting on something very important were not protected in the way that they should have been is really scary. And you talk about the silver lining, how they all came together and still stayed up all night and got that pushed through. It just shows us that we do have to do better and move forward, and we don't have to try to explain what they did, but we have to figure out how we can continue to be great.
Absolutely, and thank God democracy prevailed. That's right. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
A sad moment for America, no matter which side you're on, as extremists stormed the U.S. Capitol. DBL Nation, how do you feel after seeing what happened? Then, as Donald Trump's final days at the White House play out, Congress certified Joe Biden as president. Will democracy continue to prevail? And late-night hosts got serious as they reacted to the chaos at the Capitol.
There's no we the people, there's me the people.
Today was not patriotism. Today was terrorism.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Thursday, January 7th. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Tori. Al joining us from home. So, DBL Nation, how are you all doing? Yesterday was like no other in our nation's history. In fact, many of you wrote in that you woke up today with a pit in your stomachs. Well, you're not alone. We feel the same way up here at this desk. And hopefully today we can get through this together. And we can provide you a safe space to vent and a sense of calm considering all the anxiety we are all feeling. By now, we've all seen video like this of an angry mob of extremists storming the nation's capital. Lawmakers crouching down, hiding behind chairs, fearing for their lives. They were escorted from the House and Senate chamber and brought to secret and secure locations where they waited for hours while the Capitol was cleared by police. Here's how some lawmakers reacted.
At this hour, our democracy is under an unprecedented assault, unlike anything we've seen in modern times. An assault on the citadel of liberty, the Capitol itself.
We must and we will show to the country, and indeed to the world, that we will not be diverted from our duty, that we will respect our responsibility to the Constitution and to the American people.
To those who wreaked havoc in our Capitol today, you did not win. Violence never wins. Freedom wins. And this is still the people's house.
So today, as the nation picks up the pieces and begins the process of figuring out where we go from here, we're going to do what we always do here on DBL. We're going to talk from the heart. We're going to hear from you and get through this together. So DBL Nation, we want to hear from you. How are you feeling? Tori, I know that DC is your home. I know that you've been speaking to a lot of people out there, and I know that you and I have collectively had to exhale. And I hope our DBL Nation does the same thing. Let's just all exhale together. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, we have all had to kind of calm each other down, which has been helpful. My parents live 5 miles from the White House. I love the city. I love our country. I'm a strong patriot. And yesterday was one of the darkest days in American history. We have to be honest and clearly say that. The Capitol hasn't been breached since 1812. People were allowed in, and it was a traitorous, violent mob that breached the people's house. When they say that, they mean it. We pay for that house. That is our house, our country's house. And I do want a full investigation as to what went wrong with the security failure. I think there were a lot of questions still to be had. I can't wait for an independent investigation. But in the end, and I know it's hard for people to understand, a lot of you wrote me and said, Tori, talk me down from the ledge. Like, is this the end? Are we here? And I know I always made jokes about the pendulum swinging all the way. We were at the very top last night. That's where it can go when you use violence in language and incite conspiracy theories, right? But what happened? Democracy prevailed, right? And we took the people's house back. And there is something to be said that whatever you were trying, this traitorous mob, you not only cemented the votes, you lost many of the objections in the first place. You destroyed yourself. And that's what happens with violence and with mob mentality. I want them prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And again, security-wise, I got some questions. There were some videos out there that I'm sure we've all seen that were viral that I got a lot of questions about. But right now, know that the transfer of power worked.
Where are you, Sam? Because you came in, you're kind of a little shaken. Visibly, I could see.
Yeah, listen, I've always kept it 100 with our DBL Nation that I struggle with anxiety and depression, and my anxiety is through the roof right now, as many of you are feeling the same way. And so I don't want to fan the flames. I just want us to get this, get through this together as Americans. And I think it's hard to look at silver linings right now. But if I were to look at a silver lining, you said that the mob lost, right? That in fact it cemented the votes and it promoted democracy. It also, Jeff, something that you always speak about, it promoted unity. We finally saw some unity between our senators, between our Republicans and Democrat lawmakers. In fact, before you chime in, Senator Joe Manchin said, quote, "It might be this horrible act that unites us. Just like we saw after 9/11, we were all united. We were all Americans, and I pray and hope and have to believe with everything in me that this will be our breaking point and we will only heal and progress from here." That's where I'm coming from, and I hope that that's what we see happen.
Yeah, and Al, I want to hear from you too, buddy, because I'm sure you have some sort of way or some sort of anger, or maybe not. But for me, man, it's hard for me not to be an optimist in any situation, and I know this isn't one to try to be in, but on this show, I've become the guy who've kind of taken the unpopular point of view every day, right? And me and Tori, I love her. You guys don't know that we have a great friendship together, and we do this every single day, and we go at each other. There is not a day we are on the panel together that we don't go against each other. I think it's good entertainment. I think it's good for you guys, but at the end of the day, we love each other. Today, I can't argue with Tori. Today, we are Americans. I'm very much an independent. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democratic. Despite what you guys may think, I'm very much an independent. Today, we are all Americans. We are all Americans today. And like Tori said, I don't want to be the optimist today because I want people to express their feelings and go through what they're feeling. But we're talking about a very, very, very small percentage of America, terrorists, American terrorists that did this to our country. And nobody is happy about it. Nobody's out there, unless you're an extremist, saying, I'm proud of what our country did. I'm happy with this. The government, Republicans in our government house, Lindsey Graham, enough is enough. Enough is enough, Mr. Trump. I'm out. I'm out. And that's what people are saying. It's bringing us together, even though it tore us apart, and I know what the internet looks like. I'm not stupid. It's bringing us together. And I hate to be an optimist, Al, in this situation because I understand people's feelings and anger, but I'm just telling you the way I feel right now and how I feel for my kids growing up. I think this is I want to hear from you, Al. I just want to hear from you.
And Al, really quickly, I just want to say this and then chime in because it's very important to say this. When all was said and done, democracy prevailed. So early this morning, Congress, to Tori's point, certified the election of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Vice President Mike Pence presided over the final moments with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi by his side. And Al, the two bumped elbows when it was all done. So after seeing Congress come back after everything that happened yesterday and complete the people's work, again, this is the people's house, and do it for the most part together, a lot of people are wondering, can the nation unite? What do you think, Al?
Well, Sam, I want to address what both you and Jeff said. Let's start with Jeff first. He called them terrorists. That's what they're being called now, domestic terrorists. But we don't seem to treat them like terrorists. When we were attacked on 9/11, we found out who they were. We found out their terrorist cells. We went through certain processes where we froze their funds. We found out how they communicated. We shut that down. We don't seem to do that with these groups that are parading out in public. There's a website called My Militia that you can just go to on the website, on the internet. These people aren't hiding, but yet they're not treated like terrorists. And Sam, to your point about silver linings, I think we're all missing a big thing here. What we're talking about this morning is the best case scenario for what happened yesterday. And what I mean by that is they didn't go there on a Saturday. They went there when they knew Congress was in session. There's a picture with a man with zip ties. They had gallows set up to those are the wooden structures where they did public hangings for treason. They went in there to get Congress people. What if they were unable to escape and we're talking about a hostage situation? Because that was the point. And we were a couple minutes window from that happening. So I don't want to see people arrested for trespassing. Trespassing is what you do when you break into a middle school. This is bigger than that. This is now the second attempt because we had attempts with Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan and Ralph, I think, Northingham, the governor of Virginia. They were both attempted to be kidnapped. So why don't we treat this with the seriousness that it deserves?
I believe we will, Al. I do. I agree with you, and I believe we will. Coming up on DBL, exhale, right? I'm going to have to continuously exhale throughout the show.
Al, thank you for saying that, man, because a lot of people feel that way, and I don't want to sugarcoat what we're saying here, so thank you for saying that, buddy.
Absolutely the truth. We're not going to try to diminish how anyone is feeling right now. Absolutely not our goal. We're going to continue the conversation about yesterday's riots with you, the viewers. We want to share how you're feeling. Plus, how did late night hosts handle the day's historic events? We'll show you some clips you might have missed. And remember, we're still in the middle of a deadly COVID pandemic. I know. Our medical expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, will join us to talk about the vaccine, and allergic reactions do not go away.
Two of the most asked questions online right now. First, can the Vice President invoke the 25th Amendment? According to a Congressional Research Service report, Section 4 of the 25th Amendment allows the Vice President to, quote, assume the powers and duties of the office as acting president. Now, it only requires that the Vice President have approval from the majority of the cabinet, but if the President challenges, then 2/3 of Congress would have to approve. So technically, yes, the Vice President can invoke the 25th Amendment. But it's never happened in U.S. history, and that same Congressional Research Service report indicates that the amendment was, quote, not intended to facilitate the removal of an unpopular or failed president. Second question, was this the first time the U.S. Capitol was stormed and seized since 1814? A lot of claims out there about this. Now, while congressional records show minor attacks in the last century, none of them involved more than a handful of people. The kind of large-scale breach and takeover of the Capitol we saw Wednesday hasn't happened since 1814, when British troops stormed Washington and burned the Capitol. So this claim is also verified. Now, folks, there are tons of claims and rumors online right now. If you see something you want us to check out, send us an email. We can verify. I'm Jason Puckett.
Welcome back to DBL. The FBI is on the hunt for the rioters who were in the nation's capital yesterday, with more arrests expected to happen today. This has many Americans concerned about the future of our country, leaving many to question how the storming happened in the first place. DBL Nation, we need to hear from you. You help us collectively get through this as well. We are a team here. What's your take on yesterday's riot at the Capitol? So I'm going to read some of your comments. We're going to discuss, have a conversation here. Here's the first comment. Michael from Facebook says, I hope that this will be a rock bottom for our country and that we can come together to bring back truth, civility, and honor. And Pamela from Instagram says, the world is watching. It's a shame and embarrassing. All right, let's discuss. Tori, you were nodding your head pretty vigorously.
Yeah, just really strongly, this was a rock bottom. And I think, as you said, all Americans saw that except for that small percentage. The founders would be rolling in their graves. These people were doing a constitutional duty. They were interrupted by a traitorous mob that is spitting in the face of our troops, our flag, our Constitution, and our founders. At no point was this patriotic, and I think we all know that was rock bottom.
And let me get in a couple more comments and then Jeff chime in. Reba from Facebook says, I hope this is the last time America will ever have to deal with something like this. And Anne from Facebook says, this was an assault on democracy. We should all be concerned that something like this would even be possible.
Well, I had a really great rock bottom quote.
Please go back.
It's not as effective right now following up with those two things.
But we need your
listen,
quotes.
I'm corny with all these quotes, and I used to laugh at people who give me quotes all the time, but now I'm that guy. But rock bottom is the best foundation to start building up again. So if this is rock bottom, this is the place where we build our foundation. I hate to be the optimist, and Al, are you here, buddy? Because I'm so happy I didn't get a chance to respond. That you talk from your heart, Al, and this is me from my heart. You know me, I would always talk like this, and I'm glad you're talking like that to represent some people who are angry today and might look down on me for trying to be an optimist in a situation like this, because it was a terrible day for America.
Jeff, your optimism is my oxygen, brother. I really have learned so much from you about just being a well-rounded human being and an all-around good soul. And so your optimism is necessary and needed today. The thing is, I just have questions about, like, everybody seems to be shocked about how we got here. There's a congresswoman, Marjorie, I don't know what her middle name is, Green, who just got elected to Congress, and her ad campaign had her with an AR-15 in her hand for her photo. Like, that's her photo. That's what she ran on. So I don't know if we can sit here and say that it's a small minority, Tori. I think we need to have some very difficult, very adult conversations about what's going on in this country, why some people seem to gravitate towards Congress people that openly carry firearms in their promo ads. So let's have that conversation.
I hope we do, Al, and I think, of course, on our show we will. We never stay away from those types of in-depth and uncomfortable conversations. And
that's what we do, Sammy.
Amen, Al. We will have plenty of time to dive into that, and hopefully, collectively, the more conversations we can have, the more we can understand one another and evolve and become better. Al, we will see you later in the show. Coming up on DBL, our medical expert, Dr. Baggallini, is back to talk more about the COVID vaccine and the possibility of severe allergic reactions. We got to hear from her. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. Here at DBL, we want to be your eye in the coronavirus storm, and that's why we have facts and answers to your concerns and questions, and we can do that thanks to our medical expert, Dr. Baggallini, who joins us live. Hi, doctor. So as the COVID-19 vaccines roll out, we know that you yourself has gotten one. There's still so much that we have to learn. Can you give us a status update on how the vaccine rollout is going?
You know, guys, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think we're in a good place right now with the vaccine rollout, and that's largely because of the logistical problems. By the end of 2020, we were supposed to have 20 million doses of the vaccine given, and we've only had about a quarter of those actually handed out. Doses are being misallocated, so there are being too many doses sent to some places. They're having to vaccinate low-risk people to prevent the vaccine from being thrown out. So it's just really not going well, and I do think we need to get our act together because we need to ramp it up and start to deal with some of these growing pains. Now, on the other hand, people are tolerating the vaccine really well. So those people that have gotten it, we're not having any big surprises there. So I am pleased about that.
Doc, some people are finding that they have allergic reaction to this, including anaphylaxis. Is this more or less common?
You know, Jeff, what we're noticing is that it's more common than, for example, with the flu vaccine. So the rate of anaphylaxis that we're seeing is relatively rare. So far, only 29 people out of 1.9 million people. So that puts us at a rate of about 11 people out of every million. Now, if you compare that to the flu vaccine, which is about 1.3 out of every million people, it is a little bit more than the flu vaccine. But still, I want to emphasize, incredibly rare. And of course, the benefits of the COVID-19 vaccination far, far outweigh those risks.
All right, Doc, what type of people are at highest risk for having some sort of reaction? I know it's people with EpiPens that have really strong reactions. My dad has like a very bad seafood allergy reaction. Is he someone who might not want to take the vaccine?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. We're actually seeing even people without a history of allergic reactions can have this type of reaction. But you're absolutely right, Tori. It's the people that have history of anaphylaxis, the ones that use EpiPens, the ones that have severe reactions, mostly to medications, but potentially also to food. But again, I want to emphasize that even these people should take the vaccine because the rate is relatively rare, but they just need, I would ask your dad, for example, to talk to his allergist before he signed up for the vaccine. Now, they are saying that if you've had an allergic reaction to the first dose, you shouldn't get the second dose. They're also saying if you're allergic to any of the known components like polyethylene glycol or polysorbate, those are the preservatives that are in there, then you want to be careful about taking it. But very small people that shouldn't take it based on their allergic reaction history.
Good to know. Now, Dr. Coley, we've talked about this before, but DBL Nation keeps asking, so please provide some clarity, especially if anything has changed. When it comes to facial fillers, Botox, how does the vaccine affect those with injections? Yes, Tori.
No.
Yeah, you missed that.
I don't have any.
Me either. So you guys, Botox, we haven't really seen a signal for. But with facial fillers, if you think about facial fillers, it's basically like having a foreign body or an implant inside your face. So what we saw in 3 patients in the Moderna trial, 2 who had gotten facial fillers within 6 months before, and 1 who got it 2 days after the vaccine, was that the vaccine can trigger an immune response to the facial filler. So it can cause facial swelling or facial edema, like we call it. Usually pretty mild, usually treatable, not a contraindication to getting the vaccine if you've had the facial fillers. But if you're thinking about getting a facial filler, I might recommend putting it off for now until you get the vaccine and until we have more information.
Great info.
Woo.
Wow, I know.
I'll pass it off to my friend who gets it.
We appreciate you, Dr. Coley. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments, and boy, do we have a lot of them. You guys are opening up, and we appreciate that. Calandra on Facebook says, where's the arrest for these criminals, rebels? That's not patriotic. Claudia on Facebook says, this was a deliberate act of domestic terrorism. Joan says, I cried. I was so hurt. But that this could happen in our country, very shameful. And Diane says, horrified and angry. As a retired AF vet, I would not have expected to see this happen. However, since 2016, this is exactly what I feared would happen. Trump has repeatedly incited anger and violence. I hope his loyal Senate members are now sorry they did not convict him when he was impeached. A lot of varied opinions, but...
and there will be an investigation onto what went wrong, just so you know. An independent investigation as to the security failure that was yesterday.
Wow. Well, thank you for writing in, DBL Nation. Remember to watch DBL on Facebook or YouTube. You can chat with other viewers and the host during the commercials, and we'll read your comments on TV. If you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Late night hosts grapple with how to deal with yesterday's historic riot at the Capitol. We'll show you. And we're chatting with award-winning actor Michael Chiklis about his new Border Patrol show, DBL's New Every Day. We'll be right back.
is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Tori. Al joins us from home. So yesterday's riot at the Capitol building left many people watching from home shocked, saddened by what they saw. An angry mob of extremists stormed the nation's Capitol, forcing lawmakers to hide, take cover, and many fearing for their lives. These images left a lot of us feeling, well, very sick to our stomachs, including some celebrities who took to Twitter to express their outrage. Leah Remini wrote, quote, "Praying for our country, sick and saddened by what I'm seeing on so many levels. We will get through this." Ashton Kutcher tweeted, quote, "Support the peaceful transition of power. That's being a patriot." And Pink said, quote, "As a U.S. citizen and daughter of 2 veterans and the sister of another, I'm ashamed of what is happening in Washington. This is a sad day for America." Well, late night hosts also broke from their usual format and took a somber tone as they addressed the chaos. Here's what some of them had to say.
Lord have mercy. There are some dark subjects that we talk about on the show occasionally, but I've rarely been as upset as I am tonight.
These people are not Americans. There's no we the people. There's me the people.
Today was not patriotism. Today was terrorism. But it's important to remember that this is not who we are. I assure you there are more good people than there are bad, and good will prevail.
Yeah, and you know, Al, without diminishing what people are feeling, because we want to continue to hear from our DBL Nation, and just like many of you, we are all sick to our stomachs. But Al, good has to prevail here. You know, and of course, like you mentioned earlier, there is many things that we are going to have to face now as a nation, very uncomfortable conversations, and perhaps reform, of course, reform and progress. But watching the late night host last night take that somber tone, for me, it reminded me of 9/11. What did you make of it last night?
Well, it's so interesting, Sam. Ever since, President Trump came into office, a lot of people have told me, oh, that must be great. For people that don't know, for 15 years, I've made my living, my only living, as a professional comedian. And, people said, oh, President Trump must give you a lot of material to talk about. And quite frankly, it doesn't. There is nothing that will divide a room of strangers like talking about the administration. I hope that we can all come together on this, Sam, but you're saying that there has to be good, and I don't want to depress you, that's why we got Jeff there. But honestly, Sam, you got to ask the question, who's good? You're good or they're good? Because the people that committed those acts yesterday, really in their hearts, for most of them, feel like they were doing their patriotic duty, feeling like they were doing what they were put on this planet to do by God. So when you say there has to be some good, there's a follow-up question that's much more difficult to answer.
However, though, Al, I'm going to push back on you there, and I agree with you. And like I said, we need reform, and we need to face some very difficult conversations in this country. However, for the first time, I saw Republican and Democratic lawmakers all in agreement, and I think that speaks something. I really do. I think that
yes, but it came at the expense, Sammy, of some of their coworkers almost being strung up with nooses. Right. That's what it took. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy that that did not happen. I do think we will move forward in a positive direction for our country. Maybe this is like alcoholics and drug addicts. Maybe, like Big Jeff said, this is our rock bottom. But it's real scary that we had to get this close.
Agreed.
Yeah, when I see the late night hosts talk and I see other celebrities talk sometimes on the show and we played our clip, I'm like, they don't believe that. They don't believe what they're saying, right? Today, I believe it. I believe what they're saying, and I believe in America, Al. I understand your frustration today, but I really do. This is a small percentage, and I know, Al, you mentioned it earlier that it's not. I think it is. I think it's people that are deranged. They've lost their way somehow. They've surrounded themselves, whether on social media or in their communities, with like-minded people and got themselves to this point that they're going to storm the gates of our Capitol, our whole system that keeps this country together. I think it's a very small percentage of people we're talking about, and I think the rest, and I don't think anyone's denying that. I think everyone online, for one, social media, everyone, whether they're Democratic or Republican, is saying this was wrong. This was 100% wrong. I denounce what they're doing. I don't like what they're doing. Nobody is sticking up for them unless they're one of the crazy people that did this.
And may I also say that in every civilization, there's going to be a fringe group of people that are extreme rioters and awful people, and that is a fringe group. What scares me, and I think what Al is also reflecting, is how very close they came to taking over what we all thought of was a bastion of safety.
Speak out.
Let's go ahead and have this conversation.
Speak.
I don't know if it's a fringe group, y'all. There's a group, I'm not even going to say their name, that have 2 members of Congress. That fringe groups don't get people elected. Fringe groups are people that are into, I'm not even going to say that, but just into weird stuff. But when 10 fringe groups meet up and find a common bond, now they're a minority majority. There's a lot of people. Look at the pictures and tell me that's a fringe group. Look at how many people are out there.
Right.
That's not a fringe group.
But out of
so
74,
like we gotta have this conversation if we're gonna have it, man.
I do, and Al, thank you for saying that, because we're always going to be transparent with our viewers. And I think if there's any sort of positive, and I say that respectfully, considering how yesterday will go down in infamy. If there's any sort of positive, respectfully, it's that I hope our eyes are open to the propaganda and the indoctrination and the radicalization that can happen on the internet with falsehoods, with baseless conspiracy theories. So I pray that we all see the consequence to those memes and those reports that have been doctored, and we can trust in facts again. So I think, Al, that you're exactly right, but I do think that many people's eyes are now wide open, and there has been an awakening.
Sam,
yes.
Whose facts? Whose facts are we talking about? Yesterday, Sammy, somebody wrote in and asked us what makes Dr. Coley an expert. She got into one of the hardest schools in the country to get into. She had a perfect score at that school in 4 years at MIT, went to Harvard for medical school, finished at the top of her class, and became a cardiologist. And somebody said, well, what makes her an expert?
You're right, but let me remind you, that was one comment, and we have hundreds of comments praising Dr. Coley. So let's just remember that sometimes those minority voices are amplified. And I was one of them.
That's my girl.
I know, she's amazing. We love her. But let's just remember that those voices get amplified, and it's up to all of us as Americans to, now that we are awakened, to make sure that we are truth seekers, and that we somehow trust again in journalism and science and facts, and we move forward from this. That's the goal, to move forward.
Sam, you don't know this, but the truth seekers are one of the fringe groups. They're called the truth seekers.
Yeah.
I'm just making that up.
Okay,
we have to laugh a little bit today.
That was really not funny.
Yeah,
it wasn't even that funny.
Yeah, I was like, how does Al know all this? Yeah. Okay, so another celebrity who is speaking out about the riots is model Carly Kloss. She's married to Josh Kushner. Did you know that? Who happens to be the brother of Jared Kushner, who is married to Ivanka Trump. In the past, Carly has said that she and her husband do not share the same political views as her in-laws. Well, yesterday, she made it very clear. She denounced the riots by tweeting, accepting the results of a legitimate democratic election as patriotic, refusing to do so, and inciting violence as anti-American. So rather than talk about them, right, because who cares? Let's personalize this here. How do you deal with opposing political views when it comes to your family? Have you had to deal with that, Jeff? Because you seem to see someone that always tries to look at both sides. How have you dealt with that, especially when it comes to maybe some of your family members on Facebook?
Well, again, I think social media is a huge problem, okay? And I don't go on social media because of that. And I think people need to start realizing that, and maybe they'll start realizing that. Now, all these conspiracy theorists, all these fringe groups or whatever we're going to land on here, we're going to call them, they're all united by the internet. They're all like-minded, crazy people who find each other because of the internet. I don't go on there because of that. I don't care about your opinions. If you're going to say, well, what makes Dr. Coley an expert? What makes you an expert? She went to medical school. That's what makes her an expert. I don't have conversations with people online because this is a conversation. There's no conversating with imbeciles that have no credibility about anything, but they're Jamie 222. I went to high school with. Shut up, Jamie.
But we need to have some law and ethics, though. We need to have laws and ethics when it comes to social media.
Sorry, I got fired up. I got a little off track there. The wagging, I got it a cage a little bit.
I'm just saying, but look at what happened. Finally, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The president has now been banned indefinitely on Facebook and for at least 12 days or 12 hours, on Twitter. That has to start happening. Laws and boundaries on internet, social media has to happen. We saw it yesterday, finally.
Well, people are going to come back at you and say that is an infringement on freedom of speech.
And I'm going to say not if you say it. I'm going to say
what would you say, though?
Don't read it.
You don't get to have free speech if you're inciting violence, period.
Okay. All right.
How about if they bake you a pie?
I would like that.
Well, Michael Chiklis is next. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. Actor Michael Chiklis stars as a Border Patrol agent in the new CBS All-Access show Coyote, streaming right now. I caught up with him earlier in today's Chatting with the Stars. Michael Chiklis, welcome to DBL. Let's get right into it, Michael. One of your best-known roles was obviously in the Fantastic Four films, in which you played The Thing. Now, there's rumors swirling that Marvel might reboot the franchise. So the question is, which actor would you like to see don the Thing's trademark rocky skin?
There's some great people out there that could do justice to that role. I don't know. Who do you think?
He's kind of a Rock figure. The Rock play The Rock. He's the Thing.
Right? Kind of it feels like a natural, I suppose.
My answer to everything is, who do you think could play this? And the answer is always The Rock.
Okay, let's go with The Rock.
We'll go with The Rock. We'll go with The Rock. All right, let's get into some other characters you played. From your starring role on The Shield to the Fantastic Four, which we mentioned, you played more than a few tough guy characters. Now, I want to know, do any of these characters resemble you in real life, or is this the complete opposite of what you're used to in real life?
I will say Vic Mackey is very different than myself. I guess in ways he was a guilty pleasure to play because, you know, when in life do you get to be that cocky and throw your weight around like that and get away with it. You know, it was fun to do, but nothing like me in real life, that's for sure.
Well, so it's a little escape for you. I like it.
One of the great things about being an actor is you get to role play and, you know, walk a mile in another person's shoes. And in the case of Coyote, that's what we're doing. I'm walking 100 miles in another man's shoes. It's all about a journey.
When we get to the United States, you'll have to apply for asylum. You're gonna need to know what to say. In English is better, okay?
Let's get into your role on Coyote because it looks very exciting. You play a Border Patrol agent who is forced to work for the same people he spent his life trying to keep out of America. How do you prepare for that role?
Well, what I'm really proud of is that it's not political. It's a human story. And you asked me how I prepare for it, you know, in a number of different ways. First of all, you have to talk to people from both sides of the border, and you have to get everybody's points of view. And that's another thing that I'm really proud of, is that we represent everyone's point of view. We shot it in Mexico 100%. Mexico's another character in this play. You know, you really feel the place and the authenticity of it. So it's just physical and magnificent. It's beautiful. It's eye candy to look at. We were supposed to shoot 10 episodes for the first season, but of course, like everybody else, we got COVIDed. And it was frustrating because we were in the middle of one of the great experiences collectively of our lives. And we can't wait to get back down there and start shooting the second season. And regardless of what happens politically, the border's still going to be there. And these questions are going to remain, and this conversation needs to be had.
Absolutely. Very timely, very interesting, fascinating concept. But Michael, before we go, I want to ask you quickly, because me and my co-hosts always talk about what we're binge watching. Anything you suggest to the viewers that you're binge watching right now?
Like so many other people, The Queen's Gambit was extraordinary. But we've been doing Schitt's Creek. What a fun, funny show. The first season, you know, starts off fun, and then it really deepens and gets better and better. And, you know, especially right now with all the stress and tension in the world, if you want to just escape and laugh and just be silly, I would highly recommend Schitt's Creek. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Michael, thank you so much. If you're not binge watching Schitt's Creek, please catch the new series Coyote on CBS All Access. Michael, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thanks for joining us here on DBL, buddy. Best of luck to you.
Cheers, man. Happy New Year.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, Steph showed me some amazing products at even better prices. Here's today's DBL Deal Blast presented by MorningSave.com. All right, what do you have for us today, Stephanie?
Hey Tori, I'm here at home with some awesome products and deals that you guys are gonna absolutely love and get this year started off right. So first of all, I've got something that's gonna get you looking fit and ready for 2021 in no time.
Yes.
It is the Viva Spa whole body vibration machine with built-in Bluetooth speaker and resistant bands. So this full body slimming vibration platform is a fun way to intensify nearly any workout from the comfort of your own home. So normally this is $300, pretty spenny, but we've got it for our viewers for $129. What a steal, because you're saving 57%, Tori.
Yes, let's do a shimmy for that savings. That's unbelievable. And I feel like it's nice, high-tech, minimal. There you go. Throw that sucker over there. That's right.
Okay, next, I've got something that's gonna have your face looking younger and fresher. This is my kind of product.
Yeah.
It is the Keels.
I love
Powerful
Keels.
strength, line reducing, eye brightening concentrate. So this eye treatment helps brighten and smooth for younger looking eyes. Love it. Clinically demonstrated to decrease the appearance of crow's feet and suborbital wrinkles. Need a bit of that. It minimizes dark circles to unveil a smoother, fresher, more vibrant looking you. I definitely need this. Now normally it's $50. Smells amazing. Now it's only $25, saving 50%, Tori.
I used to sell Keels. It's unbelievable. The scent, the smell, it's very sort of natural ingredients. Everyone should buy that. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Now, Tori, if you're like me, you spent a lot of time at home this past year without much energy to take on the day. So I've got the perfect product for you. This is the 2-pack Vega protein and energy coffee powder with a Smart Shake bundle.
Wow.
So this is designed for people or couples that are on the go and want a little bit of extra energy throughout the day. And I love this. The Smart bottle is great because it's got a separate storage compartment that you can put in your snacks, essentials, an extra scoop of protein in there. So really smart. And the best bit is that the powder is vegan certified, gluten-free, and it's got no added sugar. So normally these are $80, but we've got 2 for $24, which means our viewers are going to save 70%, Tori.
Viewers, that is a fantastic idea if you're trying to get back in shape just to get you a pick-me-up in the morning. Love that idea, and I love the price even more.
Lastly, Tori, but not least, I've got something to help you organise your items when you're out about on the go. It is the Baggallini crossbody bag. So it comes in your choice of style. We've got the Denver or the El Paso. So the Denver comes in shadow navy and the El Paso comes in this deep eggplant, firewood or a navy floral. So these are both lightweight designs, they're water resistant and have RFID protection to help keep your information safe. How snazzy is that? So normally these are $60, but we've got them for our viewers for $20, which is a steal, and because you're saving 67%.
All right, guys, you saw the deals. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even just visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. It can't be easier. Steph, thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Tomorrow on DBL, meet a young man who served almost 2 decades for a murder he did not commit. Will an apology do any good now?
Keep the sorry. It's okay, because I'm gonna flourish regardless.
Don't miss his path to forgiveness in Freedom Files, Wrongfully Convicted, only on DBL.
Well, DBL Nation, we've been reading your comments, and you are continuing to be open and honest with us about how you're feeling. Tori, you had one that was pretty poignant.
Yeah, this is from Brian Plato. He DM'd me on Instagram and said, I was stationed in D.C. around 1990. I worked in the Pentagon. I've been a tourist in the Capitol. I was heartbroken to see what happened yesterday. I did not serve to watch my commander-in-chief incite a riot and have his minions attack the National Capitol. I'm one PO'd veteran. And I think we have to understand that the veterans fought for what was going on in that constitutional space, and we must support them.
They fought for democracy, and democracy was threatened yesterday.
And it won.
And it won.
And it won.
And that's where we're going to leave it. Amen. We appreciate you, DBL Nation. We appreciate you, Al. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
about today on Daily Blast Live.
A sad moment for America, no matter which side you're on, as extremists stormed the U.S. Capitol. DBL Nation, how do you feel after seeing what happened? Then, as Donald Trump's final days at the White House play out, Congress certified Joe Biden as president. Will democracy continue to prevail? And late-night hosts got serious as they reacted to the chaos at the Capitol.
There's no we the people, there's me the people.
Today was not patriotism. Today was terrorism.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Thursday, January 7th. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Tori. Al joining us from home. So, DBL Nation, how are you all doing? Yesterday was like no other in our nation's history. In fact, many of you wrote in that you woke up today with a pit in your stomachs. Well, you're not alone. We feel the same way up here at this desk, and hopefully today we can get through this together, and we can provide you a safe space to vent and a sense of calm considering all the anxiety we are all feeling. By now, we've all seen video like this of an angry mob of extremists storming the nation's capital. Lawmakers crouching down, hiding behind chairs, fearing for their lives. They were escorted from the House and Senate chamber and brought to secret and secure locations where they waited for hours while the Capitol was cleared by police. Here's how some lawmakers reacted.
At this hour, our democracy is under an unprecedented assault, unlike anything we've seen in modern times. An assault on the citadel of liberty, the Capitol itself.
We must and we will show to the country, and indeed to the world, that we will not be diverted from our duty, that we will respect our responsibility to the Constitution and to the American people.
To those who wreaked havoc in our Capitol today, you did not win. Violence never wins. Freedom wins. And this is still the people's house.
So today, as the nation picks up the pieces and begins the process of figuring out where we go from here, we're going to do what we always do here on DBL. We're going to talk from the heart. We're going to hear from you and get through this together. So DBL Nation, we want to hear from you. How are you feeling? Tori, I know that DC is your home. I know that you've been speaking to a lot of people out there, and I know that you and I have collectively had to exhale. And I hope our DBL Nation does the same thing. Let's just all exhale together. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, we have all had to kind of calm each other down, which has been helpful. My parents live 5 miles from the White House. I love the city. I love our country. I'm a strong patriot. And yesterday was one of the darkest days in American history. We have to be honest and clearly say that. The Capitol hasn't been breached since 1812. People were allowed in, and it was a traitorous, violent mob that breached the people's house. When they say that, they mean it. We pay for that house. That is our house, our country's house. And I do want a full investigation as to what went wrong with the security failure. I think there were a lot of questions still to be had. I can't wait for an independent investigation. But in the end, and I know it's hard for people to understand, a lot of you wrote me and said, Tori, talk me down from the ledge. Like, is this the end? Are we here? And I know I always made jokes about the pendulum swinging all the way. We were at the very top last night. That's where it can go when you use violence in language and incite conspiracy theories, right? But what happened? Democracy prevailed, right? And we took the people's house back. And there is something to be said that whatever you were trying, this traitorous mob, you not only cemented the votes, you lost many of the objections in the first place. You destroyed yourself. And that's what happens with violence and with mob mentality. I want them prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And again, security-wise, I got some questions. There were some videos out there that I'm sure we've all seen that were viral that I got a lot of questions about. But right now, know that the transfer of power worked.
Where are you, Sam? Because you came in, you're kind of a little shaken. Visibly, I could see.
Yeah, listen, I've always kept it 100 with our DBL Nation that I struggle with anxiety and depression, and my anxiety is through the roof right now, as many of you are feeling the same way. And so I don't want to fan the flames. I just want us to get this, get through this together as Americans. And I think it's hard to look at silver linings right now. But if I were to look at a silver lining, you said that the mob lost, right? That in fact it cemented the votes and it promoted democracy. It also, Jeff, something that you always speak about, it promoted unity. We finally saw some unity between our senators, between our Republicans and Democrat lawmakers. In fact, before you chime in, Senator Joe Manchin said, quote, "It might be this horrible act that unites us." Just like we saw after 9/11, we were all united. We were all Americans, and I pray and hope and have to believe with everything in me that this will be our breaking point and we will only heal and progress from here. That's where I'm coming from, and I hope that that's what we see happen.
Yeah, and Al, I want to hear from you too, buddy, because I'm sure you have some sort of way or some sort of anger, or maybe not. But for me, man, it's hard for me not to be an optimist in any situation, and I know this isn't one to try to be in, but on this show, I've become the guy who've kind of taken the unpopular point of view every day, right? And me and Tori, I love her. You guys don't know that we have a great friendship together, and we do this every single day, and we go at each other. There is not a day we are on the panel together that we don't go against each other. I think it's good entertainment. I think it's good for you guys, but at the end of the day, we love each other. Today, I can't argue with Tori. Today, we are Americans. I'm very much an independent. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democratic. Despite what you guys may think, I'm very much an independent. Today, we are all Americans. We are all Americans today. And like Tori said, I don't want to be the optimist today because I want people to express their feelings and go through what they're feeling. But we're talking about a very, very, very small percentage of America, terrorists, American terrorists that did this to our country. And nobody is happy about it. Nobody's out there, unless you're an extremist, saying, I'm proud of what our country did. I'm happy with this. The government, Republicans in our government house, Lindsey Graham, enough is enough. Enough is enough, Mr. Trump. I'm out. I'm out. And that's what people are saying. It's bringing us together, even though it tore us apart, and I know what the internet looks like. I'm not stupid. It's bringing us together. And I hate to be an optimist, Al, in this situation because I understand people's feelings and anger, but I'm just telling you the way I feel right now and how I feel for my kids growing up. I think this is a... I want to hear from you, Al. I just want to hear from you.
Really quickly, I just want to say this and then chime in because it's very important to say this. When all was said and done, democracy prevailed. So early this morning, Congress, to Tori's point, certified the election of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Vice President Mike Pence presided over the final moments with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi by his side. And Al, the two bumped elbows when it was all done. So after seeing Congress come back after everything that happened yesterday and complete the people's work, again, this is the people's house, and do it for the most part together, a lot of people are wondering, can the nation unite? What do you think, Al?
Well, Sam, I want to address what both you and Jeff said. Let's start with Jeff first. He called them terrorists. That's what they're being called now, domestic terrorists. But we don't seem to treat them like terrorists. When we were attacked on 9/11, we found out like who they were. We found out their terrorist cells. We went through certain processes where we froze their funds. We found out how they communicated. We shut that down. We don't seem to do that with these groups that are parading out in public. There's a website called My Militia that you can just go to on the website, on the internet. These people aren't hiding, but yet they're not treated like terrorists. And Sam, to your point about silver linings, I think we're all missing a big thing here. What we're talking about this morning is the best case scenario for what happened yesterday. And what I mean by that is they didn't go there on a Saturday. They went there when they knew Congress was in session. There's a picture with a man with zip ties. They had gallows set up to those are the wooden structures where they did public hangings for treason. They went in there to get Congress people. What if they were unable to escape and we're talking about a hostage situation? Because that was the point. And we were a couple minutes window from that happening. So I don't want to see people arrested for trespassing. Trespassing is what you do when you break into a middle school. This is bigger than that. This is now the second attempt because we had attempts with Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan and Ralph, I think, Northingham, the governor of Virginia. They were both attempted to be kidnapped. So why don't we treat this with the seriousness that it deserves?
I believe we will, Al. I do. I agree with you, and I believe we will. Coming up on DBL, exhale, right? I'm going to have to continuously exhale throughout the show.
Al, thank you for saying that, man, because a lot of people feel that way, and I don't want to sugarcoat what we're saying here, so thank you for saying that, buddy.
Absolutely the truth. We're not going to try to diminish how anyone is feeling right now. Absolutely not our goal. We're going to continue the conversation about yesterday's riots with you, the viewers. We want to share how you're feeling. Plus, how did late night hosts handle the day's historic events? We'll show you some clips you might have missed. And remember, we're still in the middle of a deadly COVID pandemic. I know. Our medical expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, will join us to talk about the vaccine, and allergic reactions do not go away.
We're breaking down two of the most asked questions online right now. First, can the Vice President invoke the 25th Amendment? According to a Congressional Research Service report, Section 4 of the 25th Amendment allows the Vice President to, quote, assume the powers and duties of the office as acting president. Now, it only requires that the Vice President have approval from the majority of the cabinet, but if the President challenges, then 2/3 of Congress would have to approve. So technically, yes, the Vice President can invoke the 25th Amendment. But it's never happened in U.S. history, and that same Congressional Research Service report indicates that the amendment was, quote, not intended to facilitate the removal of an unpopular or failed president. Second question, was this the first time the U.S. Capitol was stormed and seized since 1814? A lot of claims out there about this. Now, while congressional records show minor attacks in the last century, none of them involved more than a handful of people. The kind of large-scale breach and takeover of the Capitol we saw Wednesday hasn't happened since 1814, when British troops stormed Washington and burned the Capitol. So this claim is also verified. Now, folks, there are tons of claims and rumors online right now. If you see something you want us to check out, send us an email. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Welcome back to DBL. The FBI is on the hunt for the rioters who were in the nation's capital yesterday, with more arrests expected to happen today. This has many Americans concerned about the future of our country, leaving many to question how the storming happened in the first place. DBL Nation, we need to hear from you. You help us collectively get through this as well. We are a team here. What's your take on yesterday's riot at the Capitol? So I'm going to read some of your comments. We're going to discuss, have a conversation here. Here's the first comment. Michael from Facebook says, I hope that this will be a rock bottom for our country and that we can come together to bring back truth, civility, and honor. And Pamela from Instagram says, the world is watching. It's a shame and embarrassing. All right, let's discuss. Tori, you were nodding your head pretty vigorously.
Yeah, just really strongly, this was a rock bottom. And I think, as you said, all Americans saw that except for that small percentage. The founders would be rolling in their graves. These people were doing a constitutional duty. They were interrupted by a traitorous mob that is spitting in the face of our troops, our flag, our Constitution, and our founders. At no point was this patriotic, and I think we all know that was rock bottom.
And let me get in a couple more comments and then Jeff chime in. Reba from Facebook says, I hope this is the last time America will ever have to deal with something like this. And Ann from Facebook says, this was an assault on democracy. We should all be concerned that something like this would even be possible.
Well, I had a really great rock bottom quote.
Please go back.
It's not as effective right now. Following up with those two things. But
we need your
listen,
quotes.
I'm corny with all these quotes, and I used to laugh at people who give me quotes all the time, but now I'm that guy. But rock bottom is the best foundation to start building up again. So if this is rock bottom, this is the place where we build our foundation. I hate to be the optimist, and Al, are you here, buddy? Because I'm so happy I didn't get a chance to respond. That you talk from your heart, Al, and this is me from my heart. You know me, I would always talk like this, and I'm glad you're talking like that to represent some people who are angry today and might look down on me for trying to be an optimist in a situation like this, because it was a terrible day for America.
Jeff, your optimism is my oxygen, brother. I really have learned so much from you about just being a well-rounded human being and an all-around good soul. And so your optimism is necessary and needed today. The thing is, I just have questions about, like, everybody seems to be shocked about how we got here. There's a congresswoman, Marjorie, something, I don't know what her middle name is, Green, who just got elected to Congress, and her ad campaign had her with an AR-15 in her hand for her photo. Like, that's her photo. That's what she ran on. So I don't know if we can sit here and say that it's a small minority, Tori. I think we need to have some very difficult, very adult conversations about what's going on in this country, why some people seem to gravitate towards Congress people that openly carry firearms in their promo ads. So let's have that conversation.
I hope we do, Al, and I think, of course, on our show we will. We never stay away from those types of in-depth and uncomfortable conversations. And
that's what we do, Sammy.
Amen, Al. We will have plenty of time to dive into that, and hopefully, collectively, the more conversations we can have, the more we can understand one another and evolve and become better. Al, we will see you later in the show. Coming up on DBL, our medical expert, Dr. Baggallini, is back to talk more about the COVID vaccine and the possibility of severe allergic reactions. We got to hear from her. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. Here at DBL, we want to be your eye in the coronavirus storm, and that's why we have facts and answers to your concerns and questions, and we can do that thanks to our medical expert, Dr. Baggallini, who joins us live. Hi, doctor. So as the COVID-19 vaccines roll out, we know that you yourself has gotten one. There's still so much that we have to learn. Can you give us a status update on how the vaccine rollout is going?
You know, guys, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think we're in a good place right now with the vaccine rollout, and that's largely because of the logistical problems. By the end of 2020, we were supposed to have 20 million doses of the vaccine given, and we've only had about a quarter of those actually handed out. Doses are being misallocated, so there are being too many doses sent to some places. They're having to vaccinate low-risk people to prevent the vaccine from being thrown out. So it's just really not going well, and I do think we need to get our act together because we need to ramp it up and start to deal with some of these growing pains. Now, on the other hand, people are tolerating the vaccine really well. So those people that have gotten it, we're not having any big surprises there. So I am pleased about that.
Doc, some people are finding that they have allergic reaction to this, including anaphylaxis. Is this more or less common?
You know, Jeff, what we're noticing is that it's more common than, for example, with the flu vaccine. So the rate of anaphylaxis that we're seeing is relatively rare. So far, only 29 people out of 1.9 million people. So that puts us at a rate of about 11 people out of every million. Now, if you compare that to the flu vaccine, which is about 1.3 out of every million people, it is a little bit more than the flu vaccine. But still, I want to emphasize, incredibly rare. And of course, the benefits of the COVID-19 vaccination far, far outweigh those risks.
All right, Doc, what type of people are at highest risk for having some sort of reaction? I know it's people with EpiPens that have really strong reactions. My dad has like a very bad seafood allergy reaction. Is he someone who might not want to take the vaccine?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. We're actually seeing even people without a history of allergic reactions can have this type of reaction. But you're absolutely right, Tori. It's the people that have history of anaphylaxis, the ones that use EpiPens, the ones that have severe reactions, mostly to medications, but potentially also to food. But again, I want to emphasize that even these people should take the vaccine because the rate is relatively rare, but they just need, I would ask your dad, for example, to talk to his allergist before he signed up for the vaccine. Now, they are saying that if you've had an allergic reaction to the first dose, you shouldn't get the second dose. They're also saying if you're allergic to any of the known components like polyethylene glycol or polysorbate, those are the preservatives that are in there, then you want to be careful about taking it. But very small people that shouldn't take it based on their allergic reaction history.
Good to know. Now, Dr. Coley, we've talked about this before, but DBL Nation keeps asking, so please provide some clarity, especially if anything has changed. When it comes to facial fillers, Botox, how does the vaccine affect those with injections? Yes, Tori.
No.
Yeah, you missed that.
I don't have any.
Me either. So you guys, Botox, we haven't really seen a signal for. But with facial fillers, if you think about facial fillers, it's basically like having a foreign body or an implant inside your face. So what we saw in 3 patients in the Moderna trial, 2 who had gotten facial fillers within 6 months before, and 1 who got it 2 days after the vaccine, was that the vaccine can trigger an immune response to the facial filler. So it can cause facial swelling or facial edema, like we call it, usually pretty mild, usually treatable, not a contraindication to getting the vaccine if you've had the facial fillers. But if you're thinking about getting a facial filler, I might recommend putting it off for now until you get the vaccine and until we have more information.
Great info.
Woo.
Wow, I know.
I'll pass it off to my friend who gets it.
We appreciate you, Dr. Coley. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments, and boy, do we have a lot of them. You guys are opening up, and we appreciate that. Calandra on Facebook says, where's the arrest for these criminals, rebels? That's not patriotic. Claudia on Facebook says, this was a deliberate act of domestic terrorism. Joan says, I cried. I was so hurt. But that this could happen in our country, very shameful. And Diane says, horrified and angry. As a retired AF vet, I would not have expected to see this happen. However, since 2016, this is exactly what I feared would happen. Trump has repeatedly incited anger and violence. I hope his loyal Senate members are now sorry they did not convict him when he was impeached. A lot of varied opinions, but...
and there will be an investigation onto what went wrong, just so you know. An independent investigation as to the security failure that was yesterday.
Wow. Well, thank you for writing in, DBL Nation. Remember to watch DBL on Facebook or YouTube. You can chat with other viewers and the host during the commercials, and we'll read your comments on TV. If you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Late night hosts grapple with how to deal with yesterday's historic riot at the Capitol. We'll show you. And we're chatting with award-winning actor Michael Chiklis about his new Border Patrol show, DBL's New Every Day. We'll be right back.
is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Tori. Al joins us from home. So yesterday's riot at the Capitol building left many people watching from home shocked, saddened by what they saw. An angry mob of extremists stormed the nation's Capitol, forcing lawmakers to hide, take cover, and many fearing for their lives. These images left a lot of us feeling, well, very sick to our stomachs, including some celebrities who took to Twitter to express their outrage. Leah Remini wrote, quote, "Praying for our country, sick and saddened by what I'm seeing on so many levels. We will get through this." Ashton Kutcher tweeted, quote, "Support the peaceful transition of power. That's being a patriot." And Pink said, quote, "As a U.S. citizen and daughter of 2 veterans and the sister of another, I'm ashamed of what is happening in Washington. This is a sad day for America." Well, late night hosts also broke from their usual format and took a somber tone as they addressed the chaos. Here's what some of them had to say.
Lord have mercy. There are some dark subjects that we talk about on the show occasionally, but I've rarely been as upset as I am tonight.
These people are not Americans. There's no we the people. There's me the people.
Today was not patriotism. Today was terrorism. But it's important to remember that this is not who we are. I assure you, there are more good people than there are bad, and good will prevail.
Yeah, and you know, Al, without diminishing what people are feeling, because we want to continue to hear from our DBL Nation, and just like many of you, we are all sick to our stomachs. But Al, good has to prevail here. You know, and of course, like you mentioned earlier, there is many things that we are going to have to face now as a nation, very uncomfortable conversations, and perhaps reform, of course, reform and progress. But watching the late night host last night take that somber tone, for me, it reminded me of 9/11. What did you make of it last night?
Well, it's so interesting, Sam. Ever since, you know, President Trump came into office, a lot of people have told me, oh, that must be great. For people that don't know, for 15 years, I've made my living, my only living, as a professional comedian. And, you know, people said, oh, President Trump must give you a lot of material to talk about. And quite frankly, it doesn't. There is nothing that will divide a room of strangers like talking about the administration. I hope that we can all come together on this, Sam, but, you know, you're saying that there has to be good, and I don't want to depress you, you know, that's why we got Jeff there. But honestly, Sam, you got to ask the question, who's good? You're good or they're good? Because the people that committed those acts yesterday, really in their hearts, for most of them, feel like they were doing their patriotic duty, feeling like they were doing what they were put on this planet to do by God. So when you say there has to be some good, there's a follow-up question that's much more difficult to answer.
However, though, Al, I'm going to push back on you there, and I agree with you. And like I said, we need reform, and we need to face some very difficult conversations in this country. However, for the first time, I saw Republican and Democratic lawmakers all in agreement, and I think that speaks something. I really do. I think that
yes, but it came at the expense, Sammy, of some of their coworkers almost being strung up with nooses. Right. That's what it took. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy that that did not happen. I do think we will move forward in a positive direction for a country. Maybe this is like alcoholics and drug addicts. Maybe, like Big Jeff said, this is our rock bottom. But it's real scary that we had to get this close.
Agreed.
Yeah, you know, when I see the late night hosts talk and I see other celebrities talk sometimes on the show and we played our clip, I'm like, they don't believe that. They don't believe what they're saying, right? Today, I believe it. I believe what they're saying, and I believe in America, Al. I understand your frustration today, but I really do. This is a small percentage, and I know, Al, you mentioned it earlier that it's not. I think it is. I think it's people that are deranged. They've lost their way somehow. They've surrounded themselves, whether on social media or in their communities, with like-minded people and got themselves to this point that they're going to storm the gates of our Capitol, our whole system that keeps this country together. I think it's a very small percentage of people we're talking about, and I think the rest, and I don't think anyone's denying that. I think everyone online, for one, social media, everyone, whether they're Democratic or Republican, is saying this was wrong. This was 100% wrong. I denounce what they're doing. I don't like what they're doing. Nobody is sticking up for them unless they're one of the crazy people that did this.
And may I also say that in every civilization, there's going to be a fringe group of people that are extreme rioters and awful people, and that is a fringe group. What scares me, and I think what Al is also reflecting, is how very close they came to taking over what we all thought of was a bastion of safety.
Speak out.
Let's go ahead and have this conversation. I don't know if it's a fringe group, y'all. There's a group, I'm not even going to say their name, that have 2 members of Congress. That fringe groups don't get people elected. Fringe groups are people that are into, I'm not even going to say that, but just into weird stuff. But when 10 fringe groups meet up and find a common bond, now they're a minority majority. There's a lot of people. Look at the pictures and tell me that's a fringe group. Look at how many people are out there.
Right.
That's not a fringe group.
But out of
so
74,
like we gotta have this conversation if we're gonna have it, man.
I do, and Al, thank you for saying that, because we're always going to be transparent with our viewers. And I think if there's any sort of positive, and I say that respectfully, considering how yesterday will go down in infamy. If there's any sort of positive, respectfully, it's that I hope our eyes are open to the propaganda and the indoctrination and the radicalization that can happen on the internet with falsehoods, with baseless conspiracy theories. So I pray that we all see the consequence to those memes and those reports that have been doctored, and we can trust in facts again. So I think, Al, that you're exactly right, but I do think that many people's eyes are now wide open, and there has been an awakening.
Sam,
yes.
Whose facts? Whose facts are we talking about? Yesterday, Sammy, somebody wrote in and asked us what makes Dr. Coley an expert. She got into one of the hardest schools in the country to get into. She had a perfect score at that school in 4 years at MIT, went to Harvard for medical school, finished at the top of her class, and became a cardiologist. And somebody said, well, what makes her an expert?
You're right, but let me remind you, that was one comment, and we have hundreds of comments praising Dr. Coley. So let's just remember that sometimes those minority voices are amplified. And I was
one of them. That's my girl.
I know, she's amazing. We love her. But let's just remember that those voices get amplified, and it's up to all of us as Americans to, now that we are awakened, to make sure that we are truth seekers, and that we somehow trust again in journalism and science and facts, and we move forward from this. That's the goal, to move forward.
Sam, you don't know this, but the truth seekers are one of the fringe groups. They're called the truth seekers.
Yeah.
I'm just making that up.
Okay,
we have to laugh a little bit today.
That was really not funny.
Yeah,
it wasn't even that funny.
Yeah, I was like, how does Al know all this? Okay, so another celebrity who is speaking out about the riots is model Carly Kloss. She's married to Josh Kushner. Did you know that? Who happens to be the brother of Jared Kushner, who is married to Ivanka Trump. In the past, Carly has said that she and her husband do not share the same political views as her in-laws. Well, yesterday, she made it very clear. She denounced the riots by tweeting, accepting the results of a legitimate democratic election as patriotic, refusing to do so, and inciting violence as anti-American. So rather than talk about them, right, because who cares? Let's personalize this here. How do you deal with opposing political views when it comes to your family? Have you had to deal with that, Jeff? Because you seem to see someone that always tries to look at both sides. How have you dealt with that, especially when it comes to maybe some of your family members on Facebook?
Well, again, I think social media is a huge problem, okay? And I don't go on social media because of that. And I think people need to start realizing that, and maybe they'll start realizing that. Now, all these conspiracy theorists, all these fringe groups or whatever we're going to land on here, we're going to call them, they're all united by the internet. They're all like-minded, crazy people who find each other because of the internet. I don't go on there because of that. I don't care about your opinions. If you're going to say, well, what makes Dr. Coley an expert? What makes you an expert? She went to medical school. That's what makes her an expert. I don't have conversations with people online because this is a conversation. There's no conversating with imbeciles that have no credibility about anything, but they're Jamie 222. I went to high school with. Shut up, Jamie.
But we need to have some law and ethics, though. We need to have laws and ethics when it comes to social media.
Sorry, I got fired up. I got a little off track there. The wagging, I got it occasionally.
I'm just saying, but look at what happened. Finally, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The president has now been banned indefinitely on Facebook and for at least 12 days or 12 hours, excuse me, on Twitter. That has to start happening. Laws and boundaries on internet, social media has to happen. We saw it yesterday, finally.
Well, people are going to come back at you and say that that is an infringement on freedom of speech.
And I'm going to say not if you
read it.
I'm going to say
what would you say, though?
Don't read it.
You don't get to have free speech if you're inciting violence, period.
Okay. All right.
How about if they bake you a pie?
I would like that.
Well, Michael Chiklis is next. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
Research.
Welcome back to DBL. Actor Michael Chiklis stars as a Border Patrol agent in the new CBS All Access show Coyote, streaming right now. I caught up with him earlier in today's Chatting with the Stars. Michael Chiklis, welcome to DBL. Let's get right into it, Michael. One of your best-known roles was obviously in the Fantastic Four films, in which you played The Thing. Now, there's rumors swirling that Marvel might reboot the franchise. So the question is, which actor would you like to see don The Thing's trademark rocky skin?
There's some great people out there that could do justice to that role. I don't know. Who do you think?
He's kind of a Rock figure. The Rock play The Rock. He's The Thing.
Right? Kind of it feels like a natural, I suppose.
My answer to everything is, who do you think could play this? And the answer is always The Rock.
Okay, let's go with The Rock.
We'll go with The Rock. We'll go with The Rock. All right, let's get into some other characters you played. From your starring role on The Shield to the Fantastic Four, which we mentioned, you played more than a few tough guy characters. Now, I want to know, do any of these characters resemble you in real life, or is this the complete opposite of what you're used to in real life?
I will will say Vic Mackey is very different than myself. I guess in ways he was a guilty pleasure to play because, you know, when in life do you get to be that cocky and throw your weight around like that and get away with it? You know, it was fun to do, but nothing like me in real life, that's for sure.
Well, so it's a little skate for you. I like it.
One of the great things about being an actor is you get to role play and, you know, walk a mile in another person's shoes. And in the case of Coyote, that's what we're doing. I'm walking 100 miles in another man's shoes. It's all about a journey.
When we get to the United States, you'll have to apply for asylum. You're gonna need to know what to say. In English is better, okay?
Let's get into your role on Coyote because it looks very exciting. You play a Border Patrol agent who is forced to work for the same people he spent his life trying to keep out of America. How do you prepare for that role?
What I'm really proud of is that it's not political. It's a human story. And you asked me how I prepare for it, you know, in a number of different ways. First of all, you have to talk to people from both sides of the border and you have to get everybody's points of view. And that's another thing that I'm really proud of is that we represent everyone's point of view. We shot it in Mexico 100%. Mexico's another character in this play. You know, you really feel the place and the authenticity of it. So it's just physical and magnificent. It's beautiful. It's eye candy to look at. We were supposed to shoot 10 episodes for the first season, but of course, like everybody else, we got COVIDed. And it was frustrating because we were in the middle of one of the great experiences collectively of our lives. And we can't wait to get back down there and start shooting the second season. And regardless of what happens politically, the border's still going to be there. And these questions are going to remain. And this conversation needs to be had.
Absolutely. Very timely, very interesting, fascinating concept. But Michael, before we go, I want to ask you quickly, because me and my co-hosts always talk about what we're binge watching. Anything you suggest to the viewers that you're binge watching right now?
Like so many other people, The Queen's Gambit was extraordinary. But we've been doing Schitt's Creek. What a fun, funny show. The first season, you know, starts off fun and then it really deepens and gets better and better. And, you know, especially right now with all the stress and tension in the world, if you want to just escape and laugh and just be silly, I would highly recommend Schitt's Creek. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Michael, thank you so much. If you're not binge watching Schitt's Creek, please catch the new series Coyote on CBS All Access. Michael, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thanks for joining us here on DBL, buddy. Best of luck to you.
Cheers, man. Happy New Year.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody.
When the game's over and it's time to go home.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, Steph showed me some amazing products at even better prices. Here's today's DBL Deal Blast presented by MorningSave.com. All right, what do you have for us today, Stephanie?
Hey, Tori, I'm here at home with some awesome products and deals that you guys are going to absolutely love and get this year started off right. So first of all, I've got something that's going to get you looking fit and ready for 2021 in no time.
Yes.
It is the Viva Spa whole body vibration machine with built-in Bluetooth speaker and resistant bands. So this full body slimming vibration platform is a fun way to intensify nearly any workout from the comfort of your own home. So normally this is $300, pretty spenny, but we've got it for our viewers for $129. What a steal, because you're saving 57%, Tori.
Yes, let's do a shimmy for that savings. That's unbelievable. And I feel like it's nice, high-tech, minimal. There you go. Throw that sucker over there. That's right.
Okay, next, I've got something that's going to have your face looking younger and fresher. This is my kind of product.
Yeah.
It is the Keels.
I love
Powerful
Keels.
strength, line reducing, eye brightening concentrate. So this eye treatment helps brighten and smooth for younger looking eyes. Love it. Clinically demonstrated to decrease the appearance of crow's feet and suborbital wrinkles. Need a bit of that. It minimizes dark circles to unveil a smoother, fresher, more vibrant looking you. I definitely need this. Now, normally it's $50. Smells amazing. Now it's only $25, saving 50%, Tori.
I used to sell Keels. It's unbelievable. The scent, the smell, it's very sort of natural ingredients. Everyone should buy that. That's fabulous. Fabulous.
Now, Tori, if you're like me, you spent a lot of time at home this past year without much energy to take on the day. So I've got the perfect product for you. This is the 2-pack Vega protein and energy coffee powder with a Smart Shake bundle. So this is designed for people or couples that are on the go and want a little bit of extra energy throughout the day. And I love this. The Smart bottle is great because it's got a separate storage compartment that you can put in your snacks, essentials, an extra scoop of protein in there. So really smart. And the best bit is that the powder is vegan certified, gluten-free, and it's got no added sugar. So normally these are $80, but we've got 2 for $24, which means our viewers are going to save 70%, Tori.
Viewers, that is a fantastic idea if you're trying to get back in shape just to get you a pick-me-up in the morning. Love that idea, and I love the price even more.
Lastly, Tori, but not least, I've got something to help you organise your items when you're out and about on the go. It is the Baggallini cross-body bag. So it comes in your choice of style. We've got the Denver or the El Paso. So the Denver comes in shadow navy and the El Paso comes in this deep eggplant, firewood or a navy floral. So these are both lightweight designs, they're water resistant and have RFID protection to help keep your information safe. How snazzy is that? So normally these are $60, but we've got them for our viewers for $20, which is a steal, and because you're saving 67%.
All right, guys, you saw the deals. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even just visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. It can't be easier. Steph, thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Tomorrow on DBL, meet a young man who served almost 2 decades for a murder he did not commit. Will an apology do any good now?
Keep the sorry. It's okay, because I'm gonna flourish regardless.
Don't miss his path to forgiveness in Freedom Files, Wrongfully Convicted, only on DBL.
Well, DBL Nation, we've been reading your comments, and you are continuing to be open and honest with us about how you're feeling. Tori, you had one that was pretty poignant.
Yeah, this is from Brian Plato. He DM'd me on Instagram and said, I was stationed in D.C. around 1990. I worked in the Pentagon. I've been a tourist in the Capitol. I was heartbroken to see what happened yesterday. I did not serve to watch my commander-in-chief incite a riot and have his minions attack the National Capitol. I'm one PO'd veteran. And I think we have to understand that the veterans fought for what was going on in that constitutional space, and we must support them.
They fought for democracy, and democracy was threatened yesterday.
And it won.
And it won.
And it won.
And that's where we're going to leave it. Amen. We appreciate you, DBL Nation. We appreciate you, Al. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
On Daily Blast Live.
A sad moment for America, no matter which side you're on, as extremists stormed the U.S. Capitol. DBL Nation, how do you feel after seeing what happened? Then, as Donald Trump's final days at the White House play out, Congress certified Joe Biden as president. Will democracy continue to prevail? And late-night hosts got serious as they reacted to the chaos at the Capitol.
There's no we the people, there's me the people.
Today was not patriotism. Today was terrorism.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Thursday, January 7th. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Tori. Al joining us from home. So, DBL Nation, how are you all doing? Yesterday was like no other in our nation's history. In fact, many of you wrote in that you woke up today with a pit in your stomachs. Well, you're not alone. We feel the same way up here at this desk. And hopefully today we can get through this together. And we can provide you a safe space to vent and a sense of calm considering all the anxiety we are all feeling. By now, we've all seen video like this of an angry mob of extremists storming the nation's capital. Lawmakers crouching down, hiding behind chairs, fearing for their lives. They were escorted from the House and Senate chamber and brought to secret and secure locations where they waited for hours while the Capitol was cleared by police. Here's how some lawmakers reacted.
At this hour, our democracy is under an unprecedented assault, unlike anything we've seen in modern times. An assault on the citadel of liberty, the Capitol itself.
We must and we will show to the country, and indeed to the world, that we will not be diverted from our duty, that we will respect our responsibility to the Constitution and to the American people.
To those who wreaked havoc in our capital today, you did not win. Violence never wins. Freedom wins. And this is still the people's house.
So today, as the nation picks up the pieces and begins the process of figuring out where we go from here, we're going to do what we always do here on DBL. We're going to talk from the heart. We're going to hear from you and get through this together. So DBL Nation, we want to hear from you. How are you feeling? Tori, I know that DC is your home. I know that you've been speaking to a lot of people out there, and I know that you and I have collectively had to exhale. And I hope our DBL Nation does the same thing. Let's just all exhale together. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, we have all had to kind of calm each other down, which has been helpful. My parents live 5 miles from the White House. I love the city. I love our country. I'm a strong patriot. And yesterday was one of the darkest days in American history. We have to be honest and clearly say that. The Capitol hasn't been breached since 1812. People were allowed in, and it was a traitorous, violent mob that breached the people's house. When they say that, they mean it. We pay for that house. That is our house, our country's house. And I do want a full investigation as to what went wrong with the security failure. I think there were a lot of questions still to be had. I can't wait for an independent investigation. But in the end, and I know it's hard for people to understand, a lot of you wrote me and said, Tori, talk me down from the ledge. Like, is this the end? Are we here? And I know I always made jokes about the pendulum swinging all the way. We were at the very top last night. That's where it can go when you use violence in language and incite conspiracy theories, right? But what happened? Democracy prevailed, right? And we took the people's house back. And there is something to be said that whatever you were trying, this traitorous mob, you not only cemented the votes, you lost many of the objections in the first place. You destroyed yourself. And that's what happens with violence and with mob mentality. I want them prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And again, Security-wise, I got some questions. There were some videos out there that I'm sure we've all seen that were viral that I got a lot of questions about. But right now, know that the transfer of power worked.
Where are you, Sam? Because you came in, you're kind of a little shaken. Visibly, I could see.
Yeah, listen, I've always kept it 100 with our Dbl Nation that I struggle with anxiety and depression, and my anxiety is through the roof right now, as many of you are feeling the same way. And so I don't want to fan the flames. I just want us to get through this together as Americans. And I think it's hard to look at silver linings right now. But if I were to look at a silver lining, you said that the mob lost, right? That in fact, it cemented the votes and it promoted democracy. It also, Jeff, something that you always speak about, it promoted unity. We finally saw some unity between our senators, between our Republicans and Democrat lawmakers. In fact, before you chime in, Senator Joe Manchin said, quote, "It might be this horrible act that unites us. Just like we saw after 9/11, we were all united. We were all Americans. And I pray and hope and have to believe with everything in me that this will be our breaking point and we will only heal and progress from here." That's where I'm coming from, and I hope that that's what we see happen.
Yeah, and Al, I want to hear from you too, buddy, because I'm sure you have some sort of way or some sort of anger, or maybe not. But for me, man, it's hard for me not to be an optimist in any situation, and I know this isn't one to try to be in. But on this show, I've become the guy who've kind of taken the unpopular point of view every day, right? And me and Tori, I love her. You guys don't know that we have a great friendship together, and we do this every single day, and we go at each other. There is not a day we are on the panel together that we don't go against each other. I think it's good entertainment. I think it's good for you guys, but at the end of the day, we love each other. Today, I can't argue with Tori. Today, we are Americans. I'm very much an independent. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democratic. Despite what you guys may think, I'm very much an independent. Today, we are all Americans. We are all Americans today. And like Tori said, I don't want to be the optimist today because I want people to express their feelings and go through what they're feeling. But we're talking about a very, very, very small percentage of America, terrorists, American terrorists that did this to our country. And nobody is happy about it. Nobody's out there, unless you're an extremist, saying, I'm proud of what our country did. I'm happy with this. The government, Republicans in our government house, Lindsey Graham, enough is enough. Enough is enough, Mr. Trump. I'm out. I'm out. And that's what people are saying. It's bringing us together, even though it tore us apart, and I know what the internet looks like. I'm not stupid. It's bringing us together. And I hate to be an optimist, Al, in this situation because I understand people's feelings and anger, but I'm just telling you the way I feel right now and how I feel for my kids growing up. I think this is I want to hear from you, Al. I just want to hear from you.
And Al, really quickly, I just want to say this and then chime in because it's very important to say this. When all was said and done, democracy prevailed. So early this morning, Congress, to Tori's point, certified the election of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Vice President Mike Pence presided over the final moments with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi by his side. And Al, the two bumped elbows when it was all done. So after seeing Congress come back after everything that happened yesterday and complete the people's work, again, this is the people's house, and do it for the most part together, a lot of people are wondering, can the nation unite? What do you think, Al?
Well, Sam, I want to address what both you and Jeff said. Let's start with Jeff first. He called them terrorists. That's what they're being called now, domestic terrorists. But we don't seem to treat them like terrorists. When we were attacked on 9/11, we found out who they were. We found out their terrorist cells. We went through certain processes where we froze their funds. We found out how they communicated. We shut that down. We don't seem to do that with these groups that are parading out in public. There's a website called My Militia that you can just go to on the website, on the internet. These people aren't hiding, but yet they're not treated like terrorists. And Sam, to your point about silver linings, I think we're all missing a big thing here. What we're talking about this morning is the best case scenario for what happened yesterday. And what I mean by that is they didn't go there on a Saturday. They went there when they knew Congress was in session. There's a picture with a man with zip ties. They had gallows set up to those are the wooden structures where they did public hangings for treason. They went in there to get Congress people. What if they were unable to escape and we're talking about a hostage situation? Because that was the point. And we were a couple minutes window from that happening. So I don't want to see people arrested for trespassing. Trespassing is what you do when you break into a middle school. This is bigger than that. This is now the second attempt, because we had attempts with Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan and Ralph, I think, Northingham, the governor of Virginia. They were both attempted to be kidnapped. So why don't we treat this with the seriousness that it deserves?
I believe we will, Al. I do. I agree with you, and I believe we will. Coming up on DBL, exhale, right? I'm going to have to continuously exhale throughout the show.
Al, thank you for saying that, man, because a lot of people feel that way, and I don't want to sugarcoat what we're saying here, so thank you for saying that, buddy.
Absolutely the truth. We're not going to try to diminish how anyone is feeling right now. Absolutely not our goal. We're going to continue the conversation about yesterday's riots with you, the viewers. We want to share how you're feeling. Plus, how did late-night hosts handle the day's historic events? We'll show you some clips you might have missed. And remember, we're still in the middle of a deadly COVID pandemic. I know. Our medical expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, will join us to talk about the vaccine, and allergic reactions do not go away.
Two of the most asked questions online right now. First, can the Vice President invoke the 25th Amendment? According to our Congressional Research Service report, Section 4 of the 25th Amendment allows the Vice President to, quote, assume the powers and duties of the office as acting president. Now, it only requires that the Vice President have approval from the majority of the cabinet, but if the President challenges, then 2/3 of Congress would have to approve. So technically, yes, the Vice President can invoke the 25th Amendment. But it's never happened in U.S. history, and that same Congressional Research Service report indicates that the amendment was, quote, not intended to facilitate the removal of an unpopular or failed president. Second question, was this the first time the U.S. Capitol was stormed and seized since 1814? A lot of claims out there about this. Now, while congressional records show minor attacks in the last century, none of them involved more than a handful of people. The kind of large-scale breach and takeover of the Capitol we saw Wednesday hasn't happened since 1814, when British troops stormed Washington and burned the Capitol. So this claim is also verified. Now, folks, there are tons of claims and rumors online right now. If you see something you want us to check out, send us an email. We can verify. I'm Jason Puckett.
Welcome back to DBL. The FBI is on the hunt for the rioters who were in the nation's capital yesterday, with more arrests expected to happen today. This has many Americans concerned about the future of our country, leaving many to question how the storming happened in the first place. DBL Nation, we need to hear from you. You help us collectively get through this as well. We are a team here. What's your take on yesterday's riot at the Capitol? So I'm going to read some of your comments. We're going to discuss, have a conversation here. Here's the first comment. Michael from Facebook says, I hope that this will be a rock bottom for our country and that we can come together to bring back truth, civility, and honor. And Pamela from Instagram says, the world is watching. It's a shame and embarrassing. All right, let's discuss. Tori, you were nodding your head pretty vigorously.
Yeah, just really strongly, this was a rock bottom. And I think, as you said, all Americans saw that except for that small percentage. The founders would be rolling in their graves. These people were doing a constitutional duty. They were interrupted by a traitorous mob that is spitting in the face of our troops, our flag, our Constitution, and our founders. At no point was this patriotic, and I think we all know that was rock bottom.
And let me get in a couple more comments and then Jeff chime in. Reba from Facebook says, I hope this is the last time America will ever have to deal with something like this. And Ann from Facebook says, this was an assault on democracy. We should all be concerned that something like this would even be possible.
Well, I had a really great rock bottom quote.
Please go back.
It's not as effective right now. Following up with those two things. But
we need your
listen,
quotes.
I'm corny with all these quotes, and I used to laugh at people who give me quotes all the time, but now I'm that guy. But rock bottom is the best foundation to start building up again. So if this is rock bottom, this is the place where we build our foundation. I hate to be the optimist, and Al, are you here, buddy? Because I'm so happy I didn't get a chance to respond. That you talk from your heart, Al, and this is me from my heart. You know me, I would always talk like this, and I'm glad you're talking like that to represent some people who are angry today and might look down on me for trying to be an optimist in a situation like this, because it was a terrible day for America.
Jeff, your optimism is my oxygen, brother. I really have learned so much from you about just being a well-rounded human being and an all-around good soul. And so your optimism is necessary and needed today. The thing is, I just have questions about, like, everybody seems to be shocked about how we got here. There's a Congresswoman, Marjorie, I don't know what her middle name is, Green, who just got elected to Congress, and her ad campaign had her with an AR-15 in her hand for her photo. Like, that's her photo. That's what she ran on. So I don't know if we can sit here and say that it's a small minority, Tori. I think we need to have some very difficult, very adult conversations about what's going on in this country, why some people seem to gravitate towards Congress people that openly carry firearms in their promo ads. So let's have that conversation.
I hope we do, Al, and I think, of course, on our show we will. We never stay away from those types of in-depth and uncomfortable conversations. And
that's what we do, Sammy.
Amen, Al. We will have plenty of time to dive into that, and hopefully, collectively, the more conversations we can have, the more we can understand one another and evolve and become better. Al, we will see you later in the show. Coming up on DBL, our medical expert, Dr. Pio Coley, is back to talk more about the COVID vaccine and the possibility of severe allergic reactions. We got to hear from her. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. Here at DBL, we want to be your eye in the coronavirus storm, and that's why we have facts and answers to your concerns and questions. And we can do that thanks to our medical expert, Dr. Baggalini, who joins us live. Hi, doctor. So as the COVID-19 vaccines roll out, we know that you yourself has gotten one. There's still so much that we have to learn. Can you give us a status update on how the vaccine rollout is going?
You know, guys, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think we're in a good place right now with the vaccine rollout, and that's largely because of the logistical problems. By the end of 2020, we were supposed to have 20 million doses of the vaccine given, and we've only had about a quarter of those actually handed out. Doses are being misallocated, so there are being too many doses sent to some places. They're having to vaccinate low-risk people to prevent the vaccine from being thrown out. So it's just really not going well, and I do think we need to get our act together because we need to ramp it up and start to deal with some of these growing pains. Now, on the other hand, people are tolerating the vaccine really well. So those people that have gotten it, we're not having any big surprises there. So I am pleased about that.
Doc, some people are finding that they have allergic reaction to this, including anaphylaxis. Is this more or less common?
You know, Jeff, what we're noticing is that it's more common than, for example, with the flu vaccine. So the rate of anaphylaxis that we're seeing is relatively rare. So far, only 29 people out of 1.9 million people. So that puts us at a rate of about 11 people out of every million. Now, if you compare that to the flu vaccine, which is about 1.3 out of every million people, it is a little bit more than the flu vaccine. But still, I want to emphasize, incredibly rare. And of course, the benefits of the COVID-19 vaccination far, far outweigh those risks.
All right, Doc, what type of people are at highest risk for having some sort of reaction? I know it's people with EpiPens that have really strong reactions. My dad has like a very bad seafood allergy reaction. Is he someone who might not want to take the vaccine?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. We're actually seeing even people without a history of allergic reactions can have this type of reaction. But you're absolutely right, Tori. It's the people that have history of anaphylaxis, the ones that use EpiPens, the ones that have severe reactions, mostly to medications, but potentially also to food. But again, I want to emphasize that even these people should take the vaccine because the rate is relatively rare, but they just need, I would ask your dad, for example, to talk to his allergist before he signed up for the vaccine. Now, they are saying that if you've had an allergic reaction to the first dose, you shouldn't get the second dose. They're also saying if you're allergic to any of the known components like polyethylene glycol or polysorbate, those are the preservatives that are in there, then you want to be careful about taking it. But very small people that shouldn't take it based on their allergic reaction history.
Good to know. Now, Dr. Coley, we've talked about this before, but DBL Nation keeps asking, so please provide some clarity, especially if anything has changed. When it comes to facial fillers, Botox, how does the vaccine affect those with injections? Yes, Tori.
No.
Yeah, you missed that.
I don't have any.
Me either. So you guys, Botox, we haven't really seen a signal for. But with facial fillers, if you think about facial fillers, it's basically like having a foreign body or an implant inside your face. So what we saw in 3 patients in the Moderna trial, 2 who had gotten facial fillers within 6 months before, and 1 who got it 2 days after the vaccine, was that the vaccine can trigger an immune response to the facial filler. So it can cause facial swelling or facial edema, like we call it. Usually pretty mild, usually treatable, not a contraindication to getting the vaccine if you've had the facial fillers. But if you're thinking about getting a facial filler, I might recommend putting it off for now until you get the vaccine and until we have more information.
Great info.
Woo.
Wow, I know.
I'll pass it off to my friend who gets it.
We appreciate you, Dr. Coley. We'll be right back.
Promotion.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments, and boy, do we have a lot of them. You guys are opening up, and we appreciate that. Calandra on Facebook says, where's the arrest for these criminals, rebels? That's not patriotic. Claudia on Facebook says, this was a deliberate act of domestic terrorism. Joan says, I cried. I was so hurt. But that this could happen in our country, very shameful. And Diane says, horrified and angry. As a retired AF vet, I would not have expected to see this happen. However, since 2016, this is exactly what I feared would happen. Trump has repeatedly incited anger and violence. I hope his loyal Senate members are now sorry they did not convict him when he was impeached. A lot of varied opinions, but...
and there will be an investigation onto what went wrong, just so you know. An independent investigation as to the security failure that was yesterday.
Wow. Well, thank you for writing in, DBL Nation. Remember to watch DBL on Facebook or YouTube. You can chat with other viewers and the host during the commercials, and we'll read your comments on TV. If you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Late night hosts grapple with how to deal with yesterday's historic riot at the Capitol. We'll show you. And we're chatting with award-winning actor Michael Chiklis about his new Border Patrol show, DBL's New Every Day. We'll be right back.
Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Tori. Al joins us from home. So yesterday's riot at the Capitol building left many people watching from home shocked, saddened by what they saw. An angry mob of extremists stormed the nation's Capitol, forcing lawmakers to hide, take cover, and many fearing for their lives. These images left a lot of us feeling, well, very sick to our stomachs, including some celebrities who took to Twitter to express their outrage. Leah Remini wrote, quote, "Praying for our country, sick and saddened by what I'm seeing on so many levels. We will get through this." Ashton Kutcher tweeted, quote, "Support the peaceful transition of power. That's being a patriot." And Pink said, quote, "As a U.S. citizen and daughter of two veterans and the sister of another, I'm ashamed of what is happening in Washington. This is a sad day for America." Well, late night hosts also broke from their usual format and took a somber tone as they addressed the chaos. Here's what some of them had to say.
Lord have mercy. There are some dark subjects that we talk about on the show occasionally, but I've rarely been as upset as I am tonight.
These people are not Americans. There's no we the people. There's me the people.
Today was not patriotism. Today was terrorism. But it's important to remember that this is not who we are. I assure you there are more good people than there are bad, and good will prevail.
Yeah, and you know, Al, without diminishing what people are feeling, because we want to continue to hear from our DBL Nation, and just like many of you, we are all sick to our stomachs. But Al, good has to prevail here. You know, and of course, like you mentioned earlier, there is many things that we are going to have to face now as a nation, very uncomfortable conversations, and perhaps reform, of course, reform and progress. But watching the late night host last night take that somber tone, for me, it reminded me of 9/11. What did you make of it last night?
Well, it's so interesting, Sam. Ever since, President Trump came into office, a lot of people have told me, oh, that must be great. For people that don't know, for 15 years, I've made my living, my only living, as a professional comedian. And, people said, oh, President Trump must give you a lot of material to talk about. And quite frankly, it doesn't. There is nothing that will divide a room of strangers like talking about the administration. I hope that we can all come together on this, Sam, but you're saying that there has to be good, and I don't want to depress you, that's why we got Jeff there. But honestly, Sam, you got to ask the question, who's good? You're good or they're good? Because the people that committed those acts yesterday, really in their hearts, for most of them, feel like they were doing their patriotic duty, feeling like they were doing what they were put on this planet to do by God. So when you say there has to be some good, there's a follow-up question that's much more difficult to answer.
However, though, Al, I'm going to push back on you there, and I agree with you. And like I said, we need reform, and we need to face some very difficult conversations in this country. However, for the first time, I saw Republican and Democratic lawmakers all in agreement, and I think that speaks something. I really do. I think that
yes, but it came at the expense, Sammy, of some of their coworkers almost being strung up with nooses. Right. That's what it took. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy that that did not happen. I do think we will move forward in a positive direction for our country. Maybe this is like alcoholics and drug addicts. Maybe, like Big Jeff said, this is our rock bottom. But it's real scary that we had to get this close.
Agreed.
Yeah, when I see the late night hosts talk and I see other celebrities talk sometimes on the show and we played our clip, I'm like, they don't believe that. They don't believe what they're saying, right? Today, I believe it. I believe what they're saying, and I believe in America, Al. I understand your frustration today, but I really do. This is a small percentage, and I know, Al, you mentioned it earlier that it's not. I think it is. I think it's people that are deranged. They've lost their way somehow. They've surrounded themselves, whether on social media or in their communities, with like-minded people and got themselves to this point that they're going to storm the gates of our Capitol, our whole system that keeps this country together. I think it's a very small percentage of people we're talking about, and I think the rest, and I don't think anyone's denying that. I think everyone online, for one, social media, everyone, whether they're Democratic or Republican, is saying this was wrong. This was 100% wrong. I denounce what they're doing. I don't like what they're doing. Nobody is sticking up for them unless they're one of the crazy people that did this.
And may I also say that in every civilization, there's going to be a fringe group of people that are extreme rioters and awful people, and that is a fringe group. What scares me, and I think what Al is also reflecting, is how very close they came to taking over what we all thought of was a bastion of safety.
Speak out.
Let's go ahead and have this conversation.
Speak.
I don't know if it's a fringe group, y'all. There's a group, I'm not even going to say their name, that have 2 members of Congress. That fringe groups don't get people elected. Fringe groups are people that are into, I'm not even going to say that, but just into weird stuff. But when 10 fringe groups meet up and find a common bond, now they're a minority majority. There's a lot of people. Look at the pictures and tell me that's a fringe group. Look at how many people are out there.
Right.
That's not a fringe group.
But out of
so
74,
like we gotta have this conversation if we're gonna have it, man.
I do, and Al, thank you for saying that, because we're always going to be transparent with our viewers. And I think if there's any sort of positive, and I say that respectfully, considering how yesterday will go down in infamy. If there's any sort of positive, respectfully, it's that I hope our eyes are open to the propaganda and the indoctrination and the radicalization that can happen on the internet with falsehoods, with baseless conspiracy theories. So I pray that we all see the consequence to those memes and those reports that have been doctored, and we can trust in facts again. So I think, Al, that you're exactly right, but I do think that many people's eyes are now wide open, and there has been an awakening.
Sam,
yes.
Whose facts? Whose facts are we talking about? Yesterday, Sammy, somebody wrote in and asked us what makes Dr. Coley an expert. She got into one of the hardest schools in the country to get into. She had a perfect score at that school in 4 years at MIT, went to Harvard for medical school, finished at the top of her class, and became a cardiologist. And somebody said, well, what makes her an expert?
You're right, but let me remind you, that was one comment, and we have hundreds of comments praising Dr. Coley. So let's just remember that sometimes those minority voices are amplified. And I was one of them.
That's my girl.
I know, she's amazing. We love her. But let's just remember that those voices get amplified, and it's up to all of us as Americans to, now that we are awakened, to make sure that we are truth seekers, and that we somehow trust again in journalism and science and facts, and we move forward from this. That's the goal, to move forward.
Sam, you don't know this, but the truth seekers are one of the fringe groups. They're called the truth seekers.
Yeah.
I'm just making that up.
Okay,
we have to laugh a little bit today.
That was really not funny.
Yeah,
it wasn't even that funny.
Yeah, I was like, how does Al know all this? Yeah. Okay, so another celebrity who is speaking out about the riots is model Karlie Kloss. She's married to Josh Kushner. Did you know that? Who happens to be the brother of Jared Kushner, who is married to Ivanka Trump. In the past, Karlie has said that she and her husband do not share the same political views as her in-laws. Well, yesterday, she made it very clear. She denounced the riots by tweeting, accepting the results of a legitimate democratic election as patriotic, refusing to do so, and inciting violence as anti-American. So rather than talk about them, right, because who cares? Let's personalize this here. How do you deal with opposing political views when it comes to your family? Have you had to deal with that, Jeff? Because you seem to see someone that always tries to look at both sides. How have you dealt with that, especially when it comes to maybe some of your family members on Facebook?
Well, again, I think social media is a huge problem, okay? And I don't go on social media because of that. And I think people need to start realizing that, and maybe they'll start realizing that. Now, all these conspiracy theorists, all these fringe groups or whatever we're going to land on here, we're going to call them, they're all united by the internet. They're all like-minded, crazy people who find each other because of the internet. I don't go on there because of that. I don't care about your opinions. If you're going to say, well, what makes Dr. Coley an expert? What makes you an expert? She went to medical school. That's what makes her an expert. I don't have conversations with people online because this is a conversation. There's no conversating with imbeciles that have no credibility about anything, but they're Jamie 222. I went to high school with. Shut up, Jamie.
But we need to have some law and ethics, though. We need to have laws and ethics when it comes to social media.
Sorry, I got fired up. I got a little off track there. The wagging, I got it occasionally.
I'm just saying, but look at what happened. Finally, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The president has now been banned indefinitely on Facebook and for at least 12 days or 12 hours, excuse me, on Twitter. That has to start happening. Laws and boundaries on internet, social media has to happen. We saw it yesterday, finally.
Well, people are going to come back at you and say that that is an infringement on freedom of speech.
And I'm going to say not if you say it. I'm going to say
what would you say, though?
Don't read it.
You don't get to have free speech if you're inciting violence, period.
Okay. All right.
How about if they bake you a pie?
I would like that.
Well, Michael Chiklis is next. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. Actor Michael Chiklis stars as a Border Patrol agent in the new CBS All-Access show Coyote, streaming right now. I caught up with him earlier in today's Chatting with the Stars. Michael Chiklis, welcome to DBL. Let's get right into it, Michael. One of your best-known roles was obviously in the Fantastic Four films, in which you played The Thing. Now, there's rumors swirling that Marvel might reboot the franchise. So the question is, which actor would you like to see don the Thing's trademark rocky skin?
There's some great people out there that could do justice to that role. I don't know. Who do you think?
He's kind of a Rock figure. The Rock play The Rock. He's the Thing.
Right? Kind of it feels like a natural, I suppose.
My answer to everything is, who do you think could play this? And the answer is always The Rock.
Okay, let's go with The Rock.
We'll go with The Rock. We'll go with The Rock. All right, let's get into some other characters you played. From your starring role on The Shield to the Fantastic Four, which we mentioned, you played more than a few tough guy characters. Now, I want to know, do any of these characters resemble you in real life, or is this the complete opposite of what you're used to in real life?
I will say Vic Mackey is very different than myself. I guess in ways he was a guilty pleasure to play because, you know, when in life do you get to be that cocky and throw your weight around like that and get away with it. You know, it was fun to do, but nothing like me in real life, that's for sure.
Well, so it's a little escape for you. I like it.
One of the great things about being an actor is you get to role play and, you know, walk a mile in another person's shoes. And in the case of Coyote, that's what we're doing. I'm walking 100 miles in another man's shoes. It's all about a journey.
When we get to the United States, you'll have to apply for asylum. You're gonna need to know what to say. In English is better, okay?
Let's get into your role on Coyote because it looks very exciting. You play a Border Patrol agent who is forced to work for the same people he spent his life trying to keep out of America. How do you prepare for that role?
Well, what I'm really proud of is that it's not political. It's a human story. And you asked me how I prepare for it, you know, in a number of different ways. First of all, you have to talk to people from both sides of the border, and you have to get everybody's points of view. And that's another thing that I'm really proud of, is that we represent everyone's point of view. We shot it in Mexico 100%. Mexico's another character in this play. You know, you really feel the place and the authenticity of it. So it's just physical and magnificent. It's beautiful. It's eye candy to look at. We were supposed to shoot 10 episodes for the first season, but of course, like everybody else, we got COVIDed. And it was frustrating because we were in the middle of one of the great experiences collectively of our lives. And we can't wait to get back down there and start shooting the second season. And regardless of what happens politically, the border's still going to be there. And these questions are going to remain, and this conversation needs to be had.
Absolutely. Very timely, very interesting, fascinating concept. But Michael, before we go, I want to ask you quickly, because me and my co-hosts always talk about what we're binge watching. Anything you suggest to the viewers that you're binge watching right now?
Like so many other people, The Queen's Gambit was extraordinary. But we've been doing Schitt's Creek. What a fun, funny show. The first season, you know, starts off fun, and then it really deepens and gets better and better. And, you know, especially right now with all the stress and tension in the world, if you want to just escape and laugh and just be silly, I would highly recommend Schitt's Creek. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Michael, thank you so much. If you're not binge watching Schitt's Creek, please catch the new series Coyote on CBS All Access. Michael, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thanks for joining us here on DBL, buddy. Best of luck to you.
Cheers, man. Happy New Year.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, Steph showed me some amazing products at even better prices. Here's today's DBL Deal Blast presented by MorningSave.com. All right, what do you have for us today, Stephanie?
Hey Tori, I'm here at home with some awesome products and deals that you guys are gonna absolutely love and get this year started off right. So first of all, I've got something that's gonna get you looking fit and ready for 2021 in no time.
Yes.
It is the Viva Spa whole body vibration machine with built-in Bluetooth speaker and resistant bands. So this full body slimming vibration platform is a fun way to intensify nearly any workout from the comfort of your own home. So normally this is $300, pretty spenny, but we've got it for our viewers for $129. What a steal, because you're saving 57%, Tori.
Yes, let's do a shimmy for that savings. That's unbelievable. And I feel like it's nice, high-tech, minimal. There you go. Throw that sucker over there. That's right.
Okay, next, I've got something that's gonna have your face looking younger and fresher. This is my kind of product.
Yeah.
It is the Keels.
I love
Powerful
Keels.
strength, line reducing, eye brightening concentrate. So this eye treatment helps brighten and smooth for younger looking eyes. Love it. Clinically demonstrated to decrease the appearance of crow's feet and suborbital wrinkles. Need a bit of that. It minimizes dark circles to unveil a smoother, fresher, more vibrant looking you. I definitely need this. Now normally it's $50. Smells amazing. Now it's only $25, saving 50%, Tori.
I used to sell Keels. It's unbelievable. The scent, the smell, it's very sort of natural ingredients. Everyone should buy that. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Now, Tori, if you're like me, you spent a lot of time at home this past year without much energy to take on the day. So I've got the perfect product for you. This is the 2-pack Vega protein and energy coffee powder with a Smart Shake bundle.
Whoa.
So this is designed for people or couples that are on the go and want a little bit of extra energy throughout the day. And I love this. The Smart bottle is great because it's got a separate storage compartment that you can put in your snacks, essentials, an extra scoop of protein in there. So really smart. And the best bit is that the powder is vegan certified, gluten-free, and it's got no added sugar. So normally these are $80, but we've got 2 for $24, which means our viewers are going to save 70%, Tori.
Viewers, that is a fantastic idea if you're trying to get back in shape just to get you a pick-me-up in the morning. Love that idea, and I love the price even more.
Lastly, Tori, but not least, I've got something to help you organise your items when you're out about on the go. It is the Baggallini cross-body bag. So it comes in your choice of style. We've got the Denver or the El Paso. So the Denver comes in shadow navy and the El Paso comes in this deep eggplant, firewood or a navy floral. So these are both lightweight designs, they're water resistant and have RFID protection to help keep your information safe. How snazzy is that? So normally these are $60, but we've got them for our viewers for $20, which is a steal, and because you're saving 67%.
All right, guys, you saw the deals. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even just visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. It can't be easier. Steph, thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
One.
Tomorrow on DBL, meet a young man who served almost 2 decades for a murder he did not commit. Will an apology do any good now?
Keep the sorry. It's okay, because I'm gonna flourish regardless.
Don't miss his path to forgiveness in Freedom Files, Wrongfully Convicted, only on DBL.
Well, DBL Nation, we've been reading your comments, and you are continuing to be open and honest with us about how you're feeling. Tori, you had one that was pretty poignant.
Yeah, this is from Brian Plato. He DM'd me on Instagram and said, I was stationed in D.C. around 1990. I worked in the Pentagon. I've been a tourist in the Capitol. I was heartbroken to see what happened yesterday. I did not serve to watch my commander-in-chief incite a riot and have his minions attack the National Capitol. I'm one PO'd veteran. And I think we have to understand that the veterans fought for what was going on in that constitutional space, and we must support them.
They fought for democracy, and democracy was threatened yesterday.
And it won.
And it won.
And it won.
And that's where we're going to leave it. Amen. We appreciate you, DBL Nation. We appreciate you, Al. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.